rapid ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಯಶವಂತ್.
Good morning, everyone. So today, myself, Dr. Neha Chaudhary, lab expert at Integrated Beekeeping Development Center. Uh, I am working for assuring the quality of honey from 2017 at IBDC Ramnagar. So as we know, there is much more prevailing cases of honey adulteration, and we need an awareness for the quality of honey.
एक बार बता दे उनके पास फोन करिएगा वहाँ पे स्टाफ आ जाएगा कोई आईटी वाला
Next. So,
डॉक्टर साहब बैठ जाओ
preservation of honey quality and purity become absolutely essential for the sustainability of honey chain, whose foundation begins with beekeeper. Because honey adulteration is not the matter of science that only a beekeeper can retain the quality of honey.
वो एम्पलीफायर मान लो
There are lots of other factors that influence the quality of honey. As beekeeper can only extract honey from at the farm level. Complexity of assuring the quality of honey will get much more complicated with the increasing length of supply chain, because there are lots of aggregators, retailers, and trader and exporter are involved in this exercise. So for assuring the quality of honey, we certainly need awareness, and awareness is not only stick to the beekeeper awareness. We need each and every individual who are involved in the practices of beekeeping or collecting honey, who are acting as the aggregator, trader or exporter, and who are dealing with honey in any of aspect. And moreover, with it's not necessary that only these people need to be aware about the quality of honey. Quality of honey, awareness regarding the quality of honey is also required by the consumer. Because if our consumer asks for quality honey, then only he or she may get quality honey. In India, we are not in the practices of using honey on daily basis. If I ask how many of you consume honey, on regular basis,
yes,
then you are much more aware. So in most of the cases, people don't consume honey. Indian people don't consume honey on daily basis because they are not aware. When they are not consuming they consuming honey on occasionally basis, like when they get sore throat, they get cough, only then they consume honey. So when they are not consuming, simply they are not aware about what is actually quality honey, what is the taste of honey. Where you only came to know about the taste of honey when you start consuming it on regular basis. Maybe you get honey from the producer only, but most of the honey that is in the market, on the retailer store, we have that honey may be adulterated with syrup. I'm not saying each and every honey is adulterated with syrup, but there may be a chances, because as the supply chain increases, as the complexity of supply chain increases, adulteration cases also increases. As working in IBDC, if I take scenario of corona, after corona or before corona, there are very much awareness regarding honey. At that time, quality of honey is good, I can say. But after corona, demand of honey increased, but at the same time, quality also decreases. And there is a huge gap between the production as well as consumption of honey. We don't have that much production to satisfy our consumption record. There is a huge gap. So we will discuss all these scenarios and all these aspects of assuring quality of honey. How can what is quality honey? How can we control? What are the prevailing adulteration cases going on? And how we can mitigate all this problem if we work in the joint approach and in collaboration with various agencies. Okay. So. Quality of honey is regulated by different agencies at various level, like national level and international level. At international level, for the domestic market, we need Food Safety Standard Authority of India license or registration number, as well as our specification must stand on these parameters that are specified by FSSAI, Food Safety Standard Authority of India. And as well as for the agriculture produce, we require egg mark specification to fulfill. Nowadays, after 2007, FSSAI is mandatory. Egg mark is not mandatory, but FSSAI marka is important for any food product to be sale in the market. Next, if anyone want to export their honey, then you need approval from Export Inspection Council of India. Earlier, their parameters were different. Like for if we talk about FSSAI, honey that contain 25% of moisture concentration that can pass for the sale in the domestic market. But that honey faced challenges during the export, as international standards were different. Because internationally, if you want to export your honey, that honey should contain moisture content less than 20%. To reduce that gap, it was very essential to align our standards with international parameters. So FSSAI feels that importance of this thing, and they amend their standard. And there was amendment in Food Safety Standard Authority of India's specification for honey in 2017. And according to that, next slide please. These standards that were given by FSSAI nowadays they are aligning with Codex standard that are given by European Union. Only one parameter is not aligning, that is HMF, hydroxymethyl furfural. Because in Indian condition, range of hydroxymethyl furfural parameter is 80 mg per kg, that is 80 ppm. And for international, we required only 40 mg. Maximum limit is 40 mg per kg. Only in the case of HMF. The rest of the parameters are same. As you can see in the table, Codex has given moisture content of honey should not be more than 20%. Same in domestic market also, we cannot sell the honey that is having moisture content greater than 20%. After that, we talk about total reducing sugar. As in honey, maximum portion is of carbohydrate, that is only reducing sugar containing glucose and fructose. And it should be minimum 65%. So, this total reducing sugar should not be less than 65%. Then sucrose concentration should be 5%. Its concentration is maximum 5%. Sucrose content should not be greater than 5% to qualify the FSSAI's parameters. And other parameters like phi test, acidity, optical density, pollen count, and there are different ranges of these parameters that are aligning with Codex and other European standards. But no traces of antibiotics or pesticide residues are allowed in the honey. When honeybee gets sick, we need different kind of treatment that was told to you yesterday in different presentations. But when you should keep find that when you extract honey, you don't take honey from the disease colony. You don't need to extract that honey. But our beekeeper, in most of the scenario, they take that honey, resulting adulterating the, we can say contaminating the honey with antibiotic residue, and that if any honey contain antibiotic residue more than prescribed level, it is not we cannot able to sell that honey in the market. So this kind of awareness we required at the farmer level, not to provide the, not to give antibiotic at the earliest level. There are different chemical as well. We can use that chemicals like thymol, formic acid. But if they want antibiotic, then don't take honey from that colony. Next. Another is the burning issue that FSSAI feel in honey case is adulteration of honey, and we can say authentication of honey. Authentication is very specific term, because in honey 80% is carbohydrate, 80% is glucose or fructose, and with the help of chemical parameter, it is very difficult to find out whether this glucose and fructose is from the natural source, or these glucose or fructose artificially prepared in the laboratory. That is very challenging task. In earlier day, honey is adulterated only with the sugar. That can be detected. But nowadays, various kind of syrups are used to adulterate honey. And it is very challenging task to detect these kind of adulteration. And as you know, honeybee, how honeybees prepare honey. They take nectar from honey. Nectar contains sucrose. They use their enzyme to digest their sucrose and convert that sucrose into glucose and fructose. Ultimately, process is the conversion of nectar into honey, and it takes various steps like collection. Second one is the transformation, that is specifically done by honeybees, because they add different type of enzymes, hydrogen peroxide, glucose oxidase, to digest that sucrose present in the nectar. Then storage, they store that honey in their hives, and after then ripening, they use their wings to ripen that honey so that the moisture content reduces to less than 20%. Exactly. So there are these steps, and it will take 15 to 20 days to take nectar from the honeybee, and that honey gets sealed in the hive. It's the process of 15 to 20 days. But in India, our beekeeper, they don't wait for a long time. They extract honey after 7 days. Maybe after 5 days. They see only 35% is sealed, they take that honey. Yesterday at IBDC Ramnagar, I have shown you a processing plant. Honey is not necessarily need to be processed. If we take honey from the sealed hive, that is sealed more than 75%, then this kind of honey don't need any processing. It is perfectly prepared by honeybees only and ready to use. We need processing because of malpractices going on. Malpractices like we are strict to the brood rearing only. We are not increasing our colony vertically. We are not using super. Although IBDC Ramnagar since 2017 is providing it beehives with super at the very minimal cost, after 85% subsidy. They are getting it at the very nominal price, 541 rupees only. Still there is very still there are lots of beekeepers that are not adopting that technology of using scientific beekeeping for extraction of honey. These are the issues generally we face at the field level. So due to the
Why?
due to lack of awareness. Second is they are not getting the actual price of honey. Today if we talk about today's scenario, their honey is selling at 85 rupees raw honey. So why a beekeeper beekeeper get promoted if he is getting 85 rupees for their honey. So for that, government of Haryana has recognized this is the problem, and for to promotion of beekeeper at the farm level, they have decided the minimum supporting price to that honey, that is 120 rupees through Bhavantar Bharpai Yojana. This was the problem.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
130, if it's, you pay for the nectar, because 130 kg, if it's nectar, then it will again...
No, 130 is for quality honey. Quality honey. We will test that honey, and after that we give that supporting price. So just to aware them, just to encourage them to extract quality honey. Next slide. Next are specific marker for rice syrup, trace marker for rice syrup. Earlier people are using this kind of syrup to mix in the honey. So these are exactly glucose and fructose. So it is very tedious to detect whether these glucose and fructose coming inside the honey is from the natural source or from some synthetic source. For that, FSSAI has made mandatory if any honey needs to be sold in the market, that has to qualify these two test parameter, and this should be negative. Then proline content, that is proline is an amino acid present in the honey by default, because honeybees deals with pollen also, and from that proline concentration came. And there are other specific rotation tests just to authenticate whether the honey is pure or not. Because, next slide please. And there are the list of antibiotics that is specified by FSSAI. Concentration of these are not more than 5 ppb. Like chlorampicnol, nitrofuran, streptomycin, tetracycline. These are the general malpractices at the field level. Beekeeper are using this kind of pesticide, and if this kind of adulteration came in honey, our whole lot got rejected. And our maximum revenue in case of honey is depend upon the export market only. We export our honey to the European country, to the US market, and if due to such kind of adulteration, we cannot able to sell that honey. So basic need of awareness to the beekeeper at this side, because during the disease management there is malpractices. We need to make them more aware, and to prepare a more standard operating procedure for the management of disease. Next slide please.
Madam,
yes.
what is the main source of antibiotics in that honey? Pesticide or other some?
No, antibiotic, beekeeper by self give antibiotic to honeybees. Because if any honeybee got disease, antibiotic is for the bacterial treatment. He don't aware whether the disease is from virus or from fungi. And he blindly, by discussing with their group only, they start using this antibiotic. They give it in the sugar syrup. So this kind of practices must be stopped at the field level only. Antibiotic cannot be added by any person who wants to adulterate that honey. It is come from the field only, because beekeeper for the treatment of honeybee, they give them antibiotic. And there are such cases also, some people, they are not aware what is the use of antibiotic, how to use, and how much concentration they need. They are not, and use of antibiotic in beekeeping is strictly prohibited. Bees, if you are using strong colony, you can treat the bees with the help of specific chemical, as it was earlier discussed by Mr. Moran Siti in a previous lecture. So beekeeper using it because of lack of awareness. They are told by some other beekeeper, if we use antibiotic, bees get more strengthened. They became very good, they lay a very good amount of egg, or concentration of honey will increase. This kind of myth leads to the utilization of such kind antibiotics at the field level. So we need to aware our beekeeper at this level to assure the quality of honey. Next is, as I have discussed this process earlier, honey is only the transformation of nectar. That must be done by bees only. Anyone like aggregator, trader cannot do this. If they are doing, they are deteriorating the quality of honey. Processed honey is not good. But because they are not actually extracting quality honey, then processing is the second option. So, we need to aware our farmer, let it be, let the bees do their job. Let them prepare the honey, let them ripen that honey in hive only. And if beekeeper, what will beekeeper do? He extract it earlier. At that time, moisture content is at higher rate, like it's 25%. Then he artificial heat that. He don't know what are the component inside that honey. He heat here, his or her objective is only to reduce the moisture content of that honey. And when we give direct heat to the honey, it results in increase in concentration of hydroxymethylfurfuran, again deteriorating the quality of honey. Its natural color will lost, its natural enzymes get lost, and other necessary things that are added by bees in that honey. Honey is not good because of carbohydrate. You use glucose and fructose, there is no health benefit. Honey is honey because honey bees added various enzymes and antimicrobial substances to that. Only then that product can provide health benefit to us. And as we know, honey is very special in our Granth also. So beauty of that product is because honey bee prepared it. And any manipulation can lead to adulteration. And these are very general practices. Due to lack of awareness, we are taking it for granted. So we must aware about this process, how they are preparing, and let bee prepare that product only. They take nectar from floral source, reduce moisture content, increase sugar, that is reducing sugar, glucose and fructose, reduces the pH of honey, and add antimicrobial substance. Cannot add it by any other source, only by bees, only by their digestive system. Only then the honey become long lasting and non-fermentable. When honey is with bees, it will not ferment. And during ripening, bee add invertase enzyme. That enzyme converts sucrose into glucose and fructose. They add gluconic oxidase enzyme, again that is antioxidant, and hydrogen peroxide that protect honey from fermentation. And this transformation of nectar continue inside hive by allocation and relocation of honey by their mouth part. And after that, they store honey, then they ripen honey. Next slide, please. Well, now again, we talk about adulteration of honey. It's a criminal offense actually, and an intentional act to obtain unfair economic gain. So, like if honey is adulterated with antibiotic, that may not for economic gain. That is due to lack of awareness. We can correct that by awareing farmers, right? But problem is addition of something inside honey to increase the economic gain. And manipulating honey or selling honey, that is not up to the global standards. Like, and main reason, if we talk about main reason, the world honey demand is increasing, but global production of pure honey is very less. There is huge gap between the production and demand. That create a strong opportunity to gain profit through fraud. And along with that, honey is a complex product. It is very difficult to find out whether the glucose and fructose inside the honey is from the natural source or it is prepared in the laboratory. Very difficult. Another mode of honey adulteration are rapidly changing. If we find a one way, like the TMR and SMR, we find that this kind of adulteration is going on, then they find some other way to adulterate honey. And that can skip through various tests also.
But
And
market is available blended products.
blended honey, yes.
Unifloral, multifloral.
Yes.
Like that.
They are using, actually, people of India are not aware about the flora also. They know honey as such. They don't know what is jamun honey, eucalyptus honey, multi honey. And when they don't know, how would they taste honey, that honey? And if they don't taste, how would they know about the quality of honey? There's a huge gap. So another is we have a EAIRMS, elemental analyzer, mass spectroscopy test to detect the C3 type of adulteration in honey. But this instrument failed to find the C4 type of adulteration. Again, lacuna in our laboratory system. Next slide. So I will be discussing about the various factors that may affect the quality of honey, like dilution with different artificially manufactured honey syrups from other sources like corn syrup, cane sugar, beet sugar, rice syrup. Earlier people used only rice syrup. We find them, and then they start using corn, beet, and syrup from other sources also. Then harvesting of immature honey. They harvest immature honey, as planned, systematic, purposeful mode of production. When they extract impure honey, then there is moisture content that is not meeting this specification. Then they dehydrate it and extract by using various technical equipment, using vacuum dryer or various type of other dryer. They don't know about the fact that the very sensitive component that present in honey may get deteriorated due to such kind of practices. And again, our consumer, he has no point of awareness about the processed or raw honey. He thought that processed honey is much more better than raw honey. Such kind of lack of awareness leads to such type of incidents. And another, at a more specific, at more high level of supply chain, at the level of trader or much more higher level, they use ion exchange resin to remove or reduce residue or other constituent of honey, such as HMF. They may use ion exchange method to lighten the honey. There are different type of syrups are available in the market that are of different color, and a consumer, by only observing this thing, cannot tell whether he is consuming honey or syrup. So as you can see in the picture, there are different color syrup available. Any syrup is available, and that syrup may qualify all the parameters that are given by various agencies. Such kind of a scenario is going on in the market, not at the Indian level but at the global level. This problem is not for India, it is globally recognized problem, and honey is number 3 in the case of adulteration. Next slide. Masking and mislabeling the geographical and botanical origin of honey. First, we don't know about honey. Second, we don't know honey has a different flora, and different flora honey has a specific and unique taste. Then these kind of misleading acts are going on in the market. Like mislabel about geographical origin. What we can understand from this? Geographical origin के बारे में झूठ बोलना क्या हो सकता है वो? Himalayan honey, exactly. Kashmiri honey is much more exotic honey. 3,000 rupees kg, maybe 3,000. But if we take honey from Rajasthan and say it is from Himalaya source, from Kashmir, I may earn 3,000 rupees per kg. But It's part of adulteration. I am reaching to the consumer. Next is botanical origin. What we get it from botanical origin?
Pongemia honey, eucalyptus honey.
Eucalyptus honey. Do you know what is the characteristic of this eucalyptus honey? Color of honey?
Color of honey, okay.
Taste is different. Its color is different.
Stickiness also.
Viscosity is different. But for us, honey is same at each for all the flora. And this is the problem of lack of awareness, because we are not aware about it. We are not using it. Next is artificial feeding of honey during nectar flow. Feeding of honey is required during rest period, when bees are not having flora outside. We need to survive our colony. But at field level, there are certain practices. Beekeeper give them extra amount of feed. And that feed, when bees are getting feed from outside, certainly they will not process that artificial feed. This act is only to increase the volume of product. So, such kind of activities are going on. Some are at the field level and mostly are at the retail or other supply chain level. The product which result from any of above described fraudulent method shall not be called honey. So what we are getting now from the field as well? It is the question mark. Because of lack of awareness, we are not taking that quality honey. And it is not a scenario that says from, if I talk about 30 or 35 years back, honey means super honey only. In between these 30 years, such kind of practices are changing, because we are focusing on quantity honey, not on the quality honey. Now it's time. We should focus on quality extraction rather than quantity. So, as the most widely accepted international standards like Codex and European Honey Council Directive only allow blend of pure honey. If such kind of product, they say it is not honey, it will be sold as the name of blend honey, not pure honey. Next. Such kind of incidents are always on the Insta, Facebook or newspaper, like these are different kind of syrup only. They are not honey, but selling by the name of honey. It's the case of Australian honey. Australia is the big producer of honey. But it was found that when they take the sample, these sample get qualified at the domestic level and failed at international level, because of such kind of highly specific syrup they are people using. Next slide, please. And when we talk about from the very basic ground level, there are certain steps, and we are unaware, due to our unawareness, we are violating certain standards. Like first I have discussed that immature honey, then we are not giving that honey a sufficient time to mature. We are violating Codex law of moisture content. Then we are changing the composition. We are heating that honey. Artificial feeding of honey bees. Honey must be produced by bees from the nectar of plant or from the secretion of living part of plant and excretion of plant suckling insect on the living part of plant. That awareness must goes to the field level, so that when our beekeeper will get aware about it, only then he can produce quality honey. There is huge gap between the transfer of knowledge from the laboratory level to the field level. And as all of you are extension officer, it's our moral responsibility to communicate that technology, that knowledge to the beekeeper, so that ultimate producer is the beekeeper only. If he will not understand the complicated their standards. What are standards saying? We need to make them understand. Next slide, please. Dilution with syrup. It's addition of honey. Addition to honey other than honey are ruled out, including those substances that are naturally present in honey. This is very interesting because when FSCI has changes the rule during 2017, pollen sale will increase tremendously in India because they increase the concentration of pollen, and this test became mandatory. That means they are artificially blending pollen inside that syrup. So such cases are also there during 2017 in detail. Then dehydration of extracted immature honey with technical devices. Again prohibited because moisture reduction of immature honey is as an inseparable part of maturation process which must be done exclusively by bees. Use of ion exchange resin at the exporter level and with a very large scale where they are dealing with the honey in tons of honey, metric tons of honey. Such practices are very common. Next slide. Again pollen addition. That was very prevailing 2017-18. Pollen addition to honey with the purpose of discussing the botanical or geographical origin of product. And any addition to honey other than honey are ruled out. Masking or mislabeling about the geographical and botanical origin of honey. Honey may be designated by the name of geographical region if honey was produced exclusively within the area referred to the designation. How will we assure that? And we must know that there is pollen spectrum analysis. If honey is from particular geographical or botanical origin, for example, if I say this is lychee honey, then 35% of pollen are from lychee only. Then only we can say that product is lychee. If I am saying Kashmiri honey, pollen for 35% of pollen must be from that region only, because honey bee cannot be controlled. We cannot say honey bee it will go to the lychee only. But criteria for this such a type of saying is that 35% pollen must be from that source. Next slide, please. This different type of dehydration machines and ion exchange method that were used for honey but should not be used. We can say that's immature, to mature the honey. Next slide, please. Now we talk about the consequence of honey adulteration. What would be the consequence if we are getting adulterated product by paying so much higher amount? What will consumer do? Stop consuming the product. If somebody who are extracting honey from super, taking the quality product and not getting value of that product, what will he do? Stop extracting honey from the super, start doing practices of extracting from brood. So our downward pressure on pure honey price due to oversupply of product. Such incidents was faced in 2004. China started increasing its production and dumping honey at the US port. Due to that, native beekeeper of USA are in loss because they are not getting price for their quality. So the US FDA got active. They came to know about the China honey, and they came to know about that the honey is not up to the mark of very low quality. Maybe there was addition of some syrup inside that honey. They start using tariff. They increase the tariff to 200%. That is specifically for the China. What China was doing that time, they take their honey to the Singapore, change the document, then from Singapore again to the Australia, and from Australia to the again US market. So US FDA was thinking that they may solve the problem, but problem was as such, because due to that different countries became emerging as a new exporter of honey, where there is no favorable climatic condition for the survival of bee. Such kind of incidents were there, and a disincentive to produce and export pure honey by several traditional countries which have shown significant decrease in their export volume during past years. Appearance of new exporting countries that re-export cheap import straight or in blend as a locally produced. Honey fruit threaten honey image as a natural product and its attractiveness and appeal. The overall result is the threat to food safety, food security and ecological sustainability, because our consumer will got threatened. He or she may not use honey, because if we are not getting pure honey in the market, then he will stop consuming the product. Ultimately, loss of this will be on beekeeper, because ultimately he will not get a value for his or her product. Next slide, please. So when we closely observe this kind of scenario, we came to know that at the farmer level, incidence of adulteration is not much problem. Problem at the farm level is of awareness. We can aware our beekeeper about keeping their honey on the super. We provide incentive for their product. If he or she extract quality honey, he will get insensitized for this. He take care of his bee. He will not exploit his colony for the benefit of his only, or for any another activity. But problem is at the bigger level. Suppose if I am an exporter or trader, and I have deal of, for example, 5 metric ton honey, and in my area I got only 200 metric ton honey from the natural source. I have to crack that deal of 500. What will I do? Because there is no governing body that is going to check such type of activity. There is no control, there is no threat of government regarding this type of activities. And such type of manipulation incidents are very common. They manipulate honey, they change if they get for example, they get antibiotic detected in the honey. They will manipulate, they pass that honey through certain ion exchange, that antibiotic concentration will reduce. Such type of incidents at the higher level is going on. It cannot possible at the beekeeper level, because he is not that much sustainable for such kind of activities. Next. Now we have talked about problem, consequences of those problems. We need to talk about the solution as well. How can we solve this problem? Much needed solution is awareness. We need to aware our beekeeper as well as our consumer. When consumer demands quality honey, only then he or she will get the quality. Right now we don't demand honey, because we don't consume it, right? So beekeeping community, we need to aware beekeeping community through presentation, publication. We need to aware our consumer through media, our national authority and retailers, and retailer and packers to improve testing. They must sell tested honey, and we need awareness about more advanced and powerful methodologies, so that they can detect each and every type of a syrup inside the honey. Full and effective enforcement. There are laws, but there is no enforcement of such law. Of all local laws pertaining to food adulteration must be encouraged. We are very lag behind this step, because the person who do adulteration, he has no fear of government or rule regulation. Next is implementation of third-party audits in order to verify the compliance of internationally recognized standards, to adopt honey fraud management system, to adopt fraud assessment and mitigation strategy, food safety of product, and traceability of honey back to the apiary and beekeeper source. Earlier, we don't have any traceability of our beekeeper and apiary. But, next slide please. And traceability is very essential because beekeeping is migratory activity. Earlier, we don't know how much we have beekeeper, how much colonies are registered. But after 2020, a portal launched by National Bee Board, that is Madhu Kranti portal, that portal has solved such kind of a problem. Now we know how much beekeeper are there in our region and how many colony we have registered. In Haryana, we are doing this job very extensively, and we covered our 75% of beekeeper. Our 75% of beekeeper are registered through Madhu Kranti portal, and we have traceability of our beekeeper. We know when our beekeeper is migrating to the other regions. So this now we know exact how much honey we can produce. So we can trace the gap between the market honey, the honey that is selling in the market. So traceability, good beekeeping practices, good beekeeping record, documentation of honey fraudulent management system are very essential tool to prevent the honey adulteration. Traceability of beekeeper, traceability of their geographical location of apiary, botanical floral source is very important, and we should encourage our beekeeper also to maintain the record. For example, suppose if any honey of any of the beekeeper got failed in antibiotic test, he or she must know the batch, from which batch is the adulterated honey is coming, or honey contaminated with antibiotic. Honey vulnerability to adulteration increases with the complexity of supply chain. More complex is the supply chain, more is the cases of adulteration. And traceability system without adequate control. Either we control the supply chain system, or either we take our product directly to the producer. These are the only option to get good quality honey. Next slide. Also, we have to develop and to strengthen our testing system, because adulteration is dynamic phenomena and it decreases the effectiveness of method of detection. Ethical stakeholder of honey trade and processing should always go a step forward, not a step back, in their commitment to minimize the probability of occurrence of adulteration by consistently using the best available methods to detect. Like in picture, this is picture I have taken from alibaba.com. You can get such kind of a syrup. And good thing for them, not for us, good thing, these golden syrup for honey is available, freely available, anyone can purchase it, can pass SMR, TMR, C3, C4 test. So it is much more easier to do such kind of practices rather than a good beekeeper. People adopt such activity much more easier. And it is practically impossible to have a single and permanent method that can able to detect all kind of honey fraud and adulteration. So challenge is very high. Next slide please. For example, EIRMS machine. It can detect C4 plant adulteration. C4 plants are sugarcane, sorghum and corn. Earlier such kind of adulteration are very common. It can be detected by this method. But it is not good for C3 plant. Problem increased when people start using wheat, rye, oat, sorghum and rice syrup to adulterate. So we need some other method as well to detect the adulteration of honey. So screening method should use NMR and LCHRMS method. if I start using all the test parameter for testing of honey, then it will cost 1.5 lakh for me to get that test done. Again, very costly, and a normal layman cannot reach to this. So suppose if you want to consume 3 kg honey and want that product tested, it will cost 1.5 lakh rupees. So there is no point. There are lots of research required in this field so that we can assure the quality of honey by using some test method, kit strip method, and there is very lack of research in this sector. Next slide please. Again, these are the various analysis by VS INRS. Like NMR, we are talking about nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. This test is mandatory for export of honey. But at domestic level, currently we are not using, because our database, we are not having a database for Indian honey. For international, honey means honey from the Apis mellifera. We have Apis cerana as well. We have other bees as well. And quality and database for the cerana honey is different from mellifera honey. So that's why at Indian scenario, this NMR test is not compulsory because of lack of database. Next slide please. So we have to adopt other method like honey foreign oligosaccharide for incomplete starch degradation. With the help of this method, we came to know whether the honey is mature or immature. How we extract that honey. DNA-based syrup specific marker that help in the detection of syrup analysis. Honey foreign enzyme activity to check diastase activity, and if it is not present, that certainly enzyme from other sources used, that means the honey is adulterated. Pollen and organoleptic test. Need of development of new technique to detect honey fraud available at reasonable cost. And it is much need to check purposeful addition of extraneous pollen to discuss country of origin and floral source. These are the activity done at various international level to discuss the origin, floral or botanical origins of honey. Next slide please. So for the controlling such type of scenario and for assuring the quality of honey, auditing of for food fraud management system is required. We should have documented food fraud management system in practice. Like in Haryana, we know the honey extraction is during the month of October to the March. So at that time, we must take sample from the field so that they get aware about the quality and they have fear of assuring the quality of honey. Audits include on-site inspection during productive season by professionals who have an adequate knowledge of beekeeping, good beekeeping practices, good quality parameter in order to detect eventually deviation in the mode of honey production. We mainly, as an extension officer, mainly focus on the increase of beekeepers. We are not focusing on the increase of quality honey. We focus on the quality honey, but we are only focusing on the production of honey, not on the quality production of honey. So in our DPR or any other agenda, we should include such kind of thing so we can assure the quality of honey at the field level. Third, main practices like artificial feeding during nectar flow, production of immature, illicit processing technology must be avoided, and we should aware our beekeeper about this. Third party audit should be conducted with absolute independence, integrity and professional expertise. Audited processing facility should be check the honey fraud management system, and auditor should always take sample at different stages of production and processing chain for laboratory analysis of honey moisture and its purity. Next slide. So these are the basic, just for the knowledge or reference purpose, basic honey testing facility available at the different laboratory. Next. Like there are various testing laboratories, AgMark Regional Laboratory, NABL accredited, FSCC notified lab, EIC lab, and private certified lab SGS, Intertech and Eurofin that are checking the quality of honey. Next, basic AgMark has these parameters for basic physiochemical testing: moisture, pH, electric conductivity, ash, reducing sugar, sucrose, HMF and diastase. Next is adulteration and microbial test. Adulteration tests are C4 sugar test, TLC, 5 yeast, malt plate and preliminary pollen analysis. Next, then these are certified lab for advanced testing: HPLC for reducing sugar, LCMS-MS, GCMS for pesticide residue, heavy metal detection, IRMS for C3C4 detection. So we must need this IRMS for adulteration, NMR profiling, antibiotic residue test, pesticide residue test, heavy metal and detailed pollen analysis. And in AgMark we have standard test, but adulteration tests are limited. In certified lab we have all the test parameter, but it is out of our pocket. The cost of these tests are very high. So either we have to adopt these all the test parameter to government lab so that we can reduce the testing cost. Next. Next, we come to the conclusion. The crisis provoked by food adulteration has deepened and broadened. At the same time, awareness of crisis has grown nowadays. There has never been a period in human history during which the importance of and concern for bird, bee and their beekeeper has been so widespread. Nowadays, we are much more aware. So, this means that importance and imperative of various government organizations and NGO work is acute and encouraging, and AgMark is mainly focusing on the quality grading, and basic adulteration tests are limited at that level. So we need to strengthen our government laboratory or government system so that these test parameter facility can available at low cost for the layman also. And certified lab are offering advanced and export level of authentication, but at the same time they are increasing the cost of testing. So together they can ensure safety and purity and regulatory compliance. And if we talk about the quality of honey, it is the responsibility of beekeeper, consumer, retail, trader and everyone who are dealing with honey to assure the quality of honey. Next. Thank you. Now you can have questions. Yes.
You have delivered very good information.
Yes.
My question is not real, but I am asking you, what is the price of syrup that some people are using for adulteration?
35 rupees per kg.
Farmer again.
I have shown you price. Yes. So like here he is not talking about how can I assure quality. His mind specifically got to that cost of syrup. This is human behavior. We are much more inclined toward adulteration rather than production of honey. So our focus must be on the production of quality honey. When we produce it, we will get it. And if we start consuming adulterated honey, we are not raising questions. Because we are not aware, then we are getting that adulterated honey very easily. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Is there any thumb rule to test by physically quality of honey?
Thumb rule is you start consuming honey from the beekeeper only. Because only from that source we can assure there is quality. You aware your beekeeper to keep the honey bee colony at the super. From that honey you start tasting that honey, and then you cannot have that honey that is available on the retail store. There is a huge difference in the taste of honey. When you taste it, it will give little sweetness and little bit astringency. If you consume consciously. But when you consume it as such, don't focus on its taste, then you will not detect it. And there are certain tests, basic tests, like if you put one glass of honey in the cold water, it will settle down. But this was ancient time. Then people, the people have a fear in their mind, in their heart, that we should not adulterate our product. Nowadays,
even the test, burning test.
yes, ये भले जमाने के टाइम था. अब it is not possible.
Ma'am, just one question.
Yes, yes.
There are times we harvest honeys from the forest,
Yes.
and moisture content used to be more than this one.
Sirana.
Yes.
Yes.
So what do you do in order to reduce the moisture content?
For that very specific, you need very low treatment.
Okay.
Low treatment, very mild treatment, 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, so that its enzyme did get inactive. Our purpose is to keep those antimicrobial substance, antibiotic retained. Only then we get quality as such. Anyone else?
Madam.
Yes.
Yesterday we bought some honey from IBDC.
It is pure.
So
I have tested. Don't. Yes.
We want to buy today actually.
Madam, yesterday, like just said, right? Yesterday we bought the honey, like from the eucalyptus and from the jamun. The price difference is like 100 rupees. So
Yes.
why is it so?
Because of availability.
Ability?
Yes, we have a very specific reason of jamun. We have less amount of that honey, less amount that increase the cost. Production is very low on jamun flora. That's why there is a gap.
one more thing, madam, we saw there in those stores, we saw some apple honey. So are the apple from, I think not native to Haryana then?
Our beekeepers were migrated to the Himachal Pradesh at that time. From there they extract honey. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your practical experience among all our participants and clearing their doubts and myths and facts also. Now I would like to request to Dr. Ramesh Kumar from IBDC to present the certificate and memento to our speaker, Dr. Neha. It's a privilege that Mr. Uri also joined us on stage.
I know her for many years. She's so humble, but very professional. She's
And
not
very
always-
hardworking.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, please.
Now it's time to re-energize each of us. So it's time for a tea break. So we'll take 10 minutes tea break. And then again assemble here for the next session. You on his lecture on principles of bee breeding, mating and selection strategies. Dr. Jaspal. If the participants are outside, if they are your friends, please drop a message in group to assemble everyone in the hall.
So, thank you, ma'am, for introducing me to all the trainees, officers who are participating in this training program. I'm thankful to the team conducting this Indo-Israel training on beekeeping management, bee welfare. Thank you. Uh, so, I'll be discussing about the bee breeding, mating, and the selection strategies. So, if we look at this, next, it's yeah. So, generally, colony multiplication is generally named as bee breeding, although those who are working with the bees, they know it's quite different. Multiplication is simply, you can do it by division, the colony will rear a queen bee, but in that case, not much consideration is given to the desirable traits. And here, methodology is very different if you are going to do bee breeding. Any person who has learned division of honeybee colony for say 20 minutes can go for colony multiplication. But breeding is a long and very tedious process. Not impossible, anything is possible. So, time taken, that is another factor for division. It takes 5 minutes to divide a colony, and it takes around 2 weeks for the colony to prepare a queen bee. And in many programs, registrations are being done. Registrations of the beekeepers who are supplying bees or supplying honeybee colonies to the beginners or to those who want to have bees on through the government programs having some subsidy, and they are named as bee breeders, although it's not true at all. They rather are the bee suppliers. They are not doing any breeding, they are simply multiplying their stock and then giving the material to the other persons. So the purpose is very different in these two situations. Whether you simply want new queen bees or you want quality queen bees with some desirable traits. So accordingly, the output, whether you are having queens, maybe 100, 200 queens, or you are having 50 very good quality queen bees. And this outcome is also dependent on this output. What type of material you are getting out of this program? The good quality queens with some specific desirable traits will help you in furthering or improving the stock, and every season, every year, your stock will be improved. So, next. Yeah. So why to go for the mass queen breeding? Because by division, you will be getting one queen at a time from a colony which has been divided. But through mass queen breeding, you can get around 20 to 30 queens from a single colony. And actually, I may be having one picture when I was there in Israel for the training in one of the beekeepers I visited. It was a beautiful frame having 45 sealed queen cells in a single colony. So that's a huge difference, getting one queen from a colony and getting around 45 queens from a colony. So that makes the difference. Why we are dividing all the colonies and making them unproductive? Instead, go for selection and then go for the queen breeding. So, next please. So generally, division method is practiced, but it is having some problems. Although having some advantages also, it's very simple, very easier to do, And it suits to small beekeepers. If I am having say 10, 20, 25 colonies, it serves my purpose. It's good enough. But what if I am having 200, 500 colonies? Although the word colony, that varies from place to place. But beekeepers generally here are having honeybee colonies around 7 to 10 free frame strength. Is totally different from a colony in some countries where beekeeping is being done with some scientific methods, having so many supers also. So that may be having around 4 times more bees from this colony. So accordingly, productivity that also varies. But getting that level of colony multiplication is also dependent upon the queens, of course, on the management also. So drawback is having 50 colonies, dividing all, getting 50 new colonies, but all having varied level of different rates. Better colonies, they are also doubled, and the worst ones, they are also being doubled. So problems, they are also being doubled that way. So colony productivity, that is adversely affected, because if you are having 10 frame strength colony and you are dividing it into 6 and 4 rows, so the remaining 6 frame queen right colony will not be producing around 50% of the honey which a 10 frame strength colony would have given. So that is another drawback. Next please. So one thing, if one has to find some middle path, not going for the proper breeding and not going for the division method. So one can go for selective breeding or selective division rather. So in this case, one can select around 20-25% of the colonies which are the best ones. We will talk about some traits on the basis of which selection can be done. The real queen bees from these, when the queen cells they are ripe, or the queens they are just going to emerge, a day before that you can divide the remaining colonies and give these queens to newly divided colonies. So the period for which the divisions will remain queenless, that will be very less. It will be reduced from around 14 to 16 days to just around 2 days. So that way productivity can be maintained. Next please. So what selective breeding is having? We can broadly say 4 major components. I won't go into the very details of the breeding programs. So one is stock selection. That is very important. That is just like selecting seed for rearing or for raising a crop. It all depends upon this genetic material which you want. Then the genetic variability. If the selection is from a broader base, you will be having more variability. So that will give you more chances of getting good quality queens in the future without having any inbreeding program. Controlled mating is the third step in this case, so that we can avoid mating of drones from unwanted or unproductive colonies with our queens which we have raised from very healthy and very productive colonies. It's just generally in the training programs, I give an example. We are making our daughters to go for higher education. She is well qualified, well settled. If she marries the wrong person, the outcome will be very different. So that's the same here. Rearing queen bees from the best of the stock and then letting those queens to mate with drones from any colony. That is the 50% of the job done only. So we won't be getting a result. And the next is of course the stock maintenance. Whatsoever you are producing, you have to maintain that. If you are losing your material after 2 years, you have to start afresh. So that's why you have to maintain the best stock with you also. May not be 100 colonies, a stock of maybe 20 colonies or 25 only, but you need to maintain that. Next, please. So there are so many traits which can be considered for this purpose, like purity of the queen rearing. It depends. If we are having more than one races at a time in some place, then this is an important factor. Here mostly we are having the Apis mellifera linguistica, some carnivorous, some bees, they were also queen bees, they were introduced later on. So may be having some mixed type of population at some places. So if you are having this pure bees, so that will give you the better result. Compactness in the brood shows survival of the brood. If survival is less, many cells they will be empty. That gives pepper potness appearance to the sealed brood. Surplus honey production, of course, that is the prime target. Everyone is keeping bees generally for having higher honey production. So we have to maintain the record of this also. Least swarming tendency. In your apiary you might have observed some of the colonies, they may be having 15, 17 bee frame strength, but they are not preparing for swarming. But on the other hand, there may be few colonies reaching 8, 9, 10 frame, they start preparing for swarming. So that is the difference among the colonies in our apiaries. And that's natural, it's always there. We also are having swarming tendency. Many of us go for swarming more frequently than others. So if you are selecting your colonies for least swarming trait also, or not as the major trait, but as one of the traits, your problem in the next season will be lesser. Otherwise you will be running after the swarms, catching them, hiving them. So you can reduce your labor input in that case. Gentleness and quietness on the comb, of course, when you are working with the bees, you want them to be gentle. Of course, we also have to be gentle with the bees while observing the bees or managing them. If we are giving more jerks to the bees, they are also aggressive in that way. So there are some developments in that also. In our university, also in PU, we are working on this aspect. We have developed some material which is having much gentle behavior rather than the generally existing aggressive bees. Fecundity, of course, this is related to the second component that will affect the total brood rearing, and of course survival will affect its compactness. Resistance to bee diseases or enemies. If our colonies, they are very frequently infested with some mites or other pests, or they are infected with a few diseases, you go for their management. If you are doing some activities with the non-chemical methods, that's okay. But if someone is going for the chemical methods and there is some residue problem in the honey, of course it is going to create another big issue of trading with that honey. Comb raising, winter or summer hardiness, that all depends upon the area where you are working. Next, please. One important aspect is the hygienic behavior. That is actually the ability of the bees to identify infected or infested brood, open the cells, and then remove the infested or infected brood. So there are two components: opening the cell cappings and then removing the brood. So you can do it very easily, simply pricking the purple eye or dark pink eye stage of the pupa, means the brood which has been sealed, say about a week, So you prick these with entomological number 1 pin. It should be very fine pin, not with any ordinary paper pin. Otherwise you will be making a huge hole that will have visible impact on the detection. We don't want that. Minimum that gap should be created. So after 24 hours, you check for the percent removal of the dead brood. It should be more than 80%. So we can call those colonies having hygienic behavior. So if you select on this basis, it's a very easy thing to do. You do it 2 to 3 times at least on each colony to make sure you are getting the right input for your breeding program. So this will surely help in reducing the brood menaces. So in our university we have been working on this. We now are having around F8 generation of this, and the level of removal is around 95%. We started around 80%. So in every next generation there is an improvement. So this trait is being transferred to the next generation. That is a good sign. Next please. So pricking 100 cells give you a better idea. But if you feel so that you don't want to kill so much brood, at least you can have such flower-like structure pricking 7 cells at a time. But of course the preferred method is going for around 100 cells so that you can have a better average. Next please. So these are the prerequisites for queen bee rearing. Of course, good colony strength. If the colonies they are strong, they can give you more number of cells. They can give you good quality queens. So quality is dependent upon the genetic factor as well as on the nutritional factors. If bee is not getting enough nutrition, you will find these will be underweight, and of course their performance is also affected. You can do it in the suitable breeding season. It depends upon the area where you are going to do this. If I take the example of Punjab, there during this November part or in February, March, April, we go for that. So the drones, the mature drones presence is very important before going for even for division method. Many times what happens, beekeepers, they start rearing queens when they see there is drone brood. But from those drone brood cells, so drones they take around 24 days to develop from egg to adult, then 13 days more for being mature for the mating. Whereas queen takes 16 days for developing, and then it is ready for within 2 to 4 days for mating, maybe up to 7 days. So there is a gap of around 7 days or more than that. So your drones, they won't be mature by the time your queens are ready for mating. So it's always better to go for grafting when drones already are there in the colonies. So you need a breeder colony which you can select on the basis of traits. It all depends upon your priority on that. You may need a starter colony for initiating the cells, or you can even do away with this step and straight away you can go for the cell builder colony. And then availability of abundant population of mature drones as we discussed. Next please. So for rearing queen bees, you need to have large number of larvae from the worker cells from the breeder colony, and these larvae should be less than 24 hours of age. If you are trying to select these from the combs, it takes more time. Another problem is, initially you will be grafting larvae which are around 16 to 24 hours of age. Once those have been removed or grafted, the others which actually are more than 24 hours, they also appear because majority of the larvae are larger than those. So grafting younger larvae will give you better quality queens because it will be getting more time for getting nourishment in the form of royal jelly. So you can insert a vertical queen excluder in the selected colony or the breeder colony and release a queen there with one brood comb and one food comb. In the center you can give an empty comb. So after 24 hours you can remove the queen. The eggs present there, they will give you, the eggs they remain for 3 days. That means on the next day you will have the right age larvae present in whole of the comb, wherever the eggs they were laid. Next please. Then the cell builder colony is a colony which actually will be acting as a nourishing mother. The breeder colony is just like a mother giving birth, providing us the genetic material. But this colony is going to nourish those larvae which we are going to graft. So these alphabets, they show like this C in the center is the frame on which grafting has been done. On one side of it you give pollen comb and on the other side young brood frame. So that there are present all the ingredients in the vicinity. In the center, the larvae which need food, the royal jelly. On one side, open brood comb which will be having majority of the nurse bees which are going to produce royal jelly, and on the other side, pollen which is a food for the nurse bees. So when they move across that, chances of acceptance of cells that increases. On the outer side, we place the older sealed brood, younger sealed brood, and then honey in the end. Next please. Now for queen rearing we can adopt various methods. So quickly I will go through some of the traditional methods which can be adopted at the small scale. But for getting the larger number of queen bees, you can go for grafting or cup kit or the nicot system for queen rearing. So in Miller method, you simply give cuts or you cut strips. The two methods they can be used. This is a frame without wires. So remove wires before this, at least the lower 3 wires, so that these cells which are raised, they can be easily transplanted into the colonies where they are to be placed. Otherwise, wires, they will be creating problems for the removal of these cells. Next please. So this is another way. Instead of comb foundation, you can cut a frame, a comb into this shape and give it to the breeder colony for getting the eggs. Once the eggs they are laid and the larvae they have emerged, you can give this back to the cell builder colony. Next please. This is a early method. In this case, give a semicircular cut. Then a strip of comb can be cut from breeder colony comb having larvae which are less than 24 hours of age. You fix it on the lower part of this semicircular cut comb. So the cells they can be raised from those from the cell builder colony. But here you have to take care. You have to destroy 2 out of 3 larvae so that there is a proper gap between all the cells. Otherwise, the queen cells they will unite with each other, and you won't be able to use all the cells. You won't be able to put either the cell protectors or you won't be able to remove these cells also. Next. So just a modification of that is you can cut a strip and fix it on the wooden strip of a queen rearing frame, and then keeping 1 larva out of 3 in the row, that will help you create the gap and give this frame to the cell builder colony. Next please. So this way you can get so many queen cells raised from the colony. Next please. A fourth method is the Hopkins method. In this case, whole of the comb surface can be prepared. In this case, like you can see that these larvae is kept, 2 destroyed, and then two rows destroyed, then next row kept. So this way, one side of the comb can be prepared. But the difference is, here you won't be inserting it into vertically, rather you will place it horizontally on the top of the top bars. Next please. So this way, you can put a shallow super and place a frame without wires, and then prepared side should be kept downwards. So this way you can get the cells. But this won't be working during the winter season when the temperature is low, because bees, they generally go for the clustering in the central part, won't be working much on the top of them. The Doolittle or the grafting method actually is the most commonly used one, and it is very giving good results also. In this case, next please. So you need to have a molten wax. You put wax in the smaller container and then place it in another container having water. We have to heat it indirectly. Direct heating will destroy the quality of the wax and acceptance won't be there. And make sure you are using pure beeswax. So low quality or lower grade wax, that also will create problem. Then you need mandrels or the cell cup forming sticks. These are easily available from the persons who are dealing with the equipment, or if it is not at all available, you simply can prepare it from any softwood. You just give it a shape. The most important thing is this lower part. It should not be more than 10 mm, 10 mm at 10 mm depth. So we will prepare queen cell cups from the beeswax. If you dip it directly in the molten wax, wax will stick to this surface, it won't be easy to remove it. So you need to have honey water solution. You put some honey in a little quantity of water, mix it, dip this mandrel in honey water solution, then dip it in the molten wax up to 10 mm depth, not more than that. Next please. So this way you can remove the you can prepare the queen cell cups. Although plastic made queen cell cups, they are also readily available, you can use them also. They are also giving good result. So you can fix them on the bars of the queen reading frame. Better to go for 10 cells per bar, or you can even have 15, but in that case you have to be very precise in fixing these cells to maintain a gap. Next please. Then comes the grafting part, means transferring of larva from comb taken from the breeder colony and then transferring into the queen cell cup. That can be done by using these tools. This is a simple tool. This is another Chinese tool. You can carry the larva with the help of this. Next please. This is a small larva. If it is around 16 hours of age, it will, or less than that, it will appear like a silver lining there at the base of the cell. With age, it will become whiter. So you need to detect and transfer such larvae. Next please. So this is how you can graft, take out a larva on the tip of this needle and avoid any larva which is not having much royal jelly at the base of it. That already is not getting proper nourishment. So it's better to select those which are having good quantity of royal jelly at the base of the cell from where we are taking larva. Next please. So this is the situation after 3 days. Generally it is for royal jelly extraction, but for queen rearing we will allow the cells to seal and to go for the queen rearing. Next please. So these are the plastic queen cell cups used of the cup kit system, and you can see the cells, they are sealed. Next please. So this is one of the frame from our farm, around 23 or 24 queen cells, they are sealed. Next please. So this is how you can transfer this mature queen cell onto the brood comb of a colony which has to be made queenless 24 hours before giving this cell. Give it on the brood comb so that bees they are able to maintain temperature there. Next please. Now grafting may be a problem for someone like me if I am not having a proper eyesight to select or carry those very small larvae. And then the non-grafting method, you can use this such curl jenter kit. So this is a lid, you can remove this and queen is confined in that. Next please. So these are various components. Next please. So this is from the back side. The cells they are fixed. This actually is the cell. On the tip of this is having a small curvature where egg is laid by the queen bee. And then you can add the wall of this cell to this base and this will form a complete cell. Next please. How to use it? You cut the comb and fit it inside there and then give it, after inserting the queen bee in it, you can give it to the colony for egg laying. Next please. So after around, if you earlier it was said that you confine the queen for around 24 hours for getting the eggs, but in our apiary we have found that you confine the queen bee in this system in the evening hours around 4 o'clock or so, and by the next morning at around 10 o'clock or 11 you will get almost 95 to 99% cells having eggs. So you need not to confine it for the 24 hours. Let the queen work on the combs. You release the queen once the egg laying process in this system is over. So these cells they can be used. Next please. So this is another cupcake Nicot system. So in this case the cell is not having wall and base as separate units. It's a complete cell having base and wall. So this is the back side of the system. You put these cells from the back side. On the front side there is a queen excluder like grid. Next please. So this shows the front part. So from this lid you can open it and put the queen inside and then keep this comb inside the colony. So by next morning mostly eggs they are laid in this. So this cell shows presence of egg. Although you can rear queen bee by transferring an egg also in this cell cup, but that's if it is more than 2 days old. If you give freshly laid eggs, they are all cleaned by the bees. So that will give you even better quality queens, because right from emergence these larvae they will be getting food, royal jelly. So this is a frame showing so many cells there. It all depends upon what is the objective, how you are going to proceed in this method. If you want to transfer the cells after they are sealed, 10 days after grafting you can go for that. Although the cells they are sealed 5 days after grafting. So in that case you can even use 3 bars in this frame. But if you have planned to put queen cell protectors, then it is difficult because that also will take space. Then you can use 2 bars. So this is one of the queen cell protector. So you can fix it there, so that if there are say 25 queen cells sealed, any queen which will be emerging, that will remain confined inside this queen cell protector. So then you can remove it and release this queen in the desired colony. Otherwise they can damage the remaining cells. So ultimately our objective will not be met that way. And you also have to guide the beekeepers for taking record. They have to put their, maybe on the lid, it's better to put it on the chamber. Exchange of lids can create another problem otherwise. Put the date of grafting, expected date of emergence, then the date of mating, everything you keep writing there. So that your workers, they also know on which date the queens will be emerging. Of course it is easier if you are going for grafting in one sitting. You know, after 12 days, the bees, they will be emerging. But if you are doing grafting daily, it's very difficult to keep record which colony was grafted on which day. So that's why you need to put the dates on the colonies as well as on your register. You need to have the colony numbers also. That will help you in keeping record, so that the queens, they don't die within the cages if you are having some miscalculation. Next please. So this is the frame I was talking about. So this is a picture taken from one of the beekeeper, a Pyri from Israel. So having so many queen cells sealed on a frame. Next please. So this is how the queen will cut the cell tip and it will emerge out. If it is cut from the sides, that generally indicates its destruction. Next please. Coming to the mating designs. After selection, then comes the grafting, then the mating design. You can go for inbred hybrid breeding or closed population breeding. Inbred hybrid breeding is just like crop breeding. You maintain some lines and then cross them, because maintaining a line for many generations will result in lowering its vigor. So then crossing them can help in restoring that vigor. So that was how some of the hybrids, they were developed worldwide. And in closed population breeding, you go for the selective breeding. You select a few colonies, rear daughter queens out of those, and then select the better ones out of those daughter colonies, then the third generation, and keep doing so. You're maintaining around 25 to 30 colonies of the best performing colonies. So that can be done. Next please. For getting the mating done, you can use various types of mating hives. This is a very small sized mating nucleus, just of the size of your hand. So baby, that's why baby has been word used, baby mating nucleus. Small size, this can. A mug full of bees, they are enough to fill this mating nucleus. Instead of using around 20,000 bees for helping a queen bee to mate, you are using only its 1/15th or 1/20th population. So that will increase the efficiency of your queen rearing program. Next please. Or you can divide a Langstroth hive into 4 compartments by inserting the wooden planks. So in this case, half size frames, they are used. Next please. Inner cover also has to get this small wooden planks there, so that queen is not able to cross from one chamber into the other. Next please. So this one is a more practical type of mating nuclei. The same Langstroth hive, you divide it into 3 compartments by inserting wooden or plywood sheets, and one entrance on one side, and the remaining 2 are having entrance on the opposite side or the third side. So this way, the same population, same hive can be divided into 3 different mating nuclei, and after 24 hours you can give the queen cells to these, and they will help you in mating done. So after the mating process is over, your queen has started laying eggs, you simply unite this colony after removing these wooden planks. So you don't need to have much more need to have investment in getting the specially designed prepared mating nuclei. Although it again depends how many queens you are going to prepare. If your objective is to rear 2000 queens, of course you will go for the smaller sized mating nuclei, which will be much more economical in using. Again, it also depends upon the weather conditions. Those small sized, they are very good, their efficiency is very good, but if you are late in the season, say in the end of March or early April, temperature is very high. So bees, they are very small, it's very difficult for them to maintain temperature, and you will find many of those queens leaving your mating nuclei. So you have to be very cautious during that period, otherwise you need to use other options. This is a division of the Langstroth hive into 3 compartments. Next please. So inner cover also needs to have this modification to avoid crossing of queen from one compartment to other. Next please. Or you can use a single frame mating nuclei also. You just take out one comb with the bees in the brood, give it into this mating nucleus, and then you can give queen cell or queen to this. This is also very convenient, and after the process is over, you can again give this comb back to the colony, or you can unite these combs taken from many colonies. So one comb is having enough space for the queen to lay eggs for a day or so that by that time you can make arrangement for shifting this newly mated queen to another 3 frame or larger colony chamber, or you plan for its sale. Next please. So this is how this small mating nuclei they can be filled. You can see these are very small in size. So you can release the queen or hang this mating nuclei inside between the 2 frames, so that bees they adapt to the smell of this queen bee. Okay, next. So then the queen will start laying eggs, and you can go for its sale. Next please. But the farmers, the beekeepers who are getting trainings generally, or you are going for rearing these queen bees, generally what we do here is, after the queen has started laying eggs, we observe it for a week or so to make sure it is laying good number of eggs, its brood survival is also good enough. Only then you go for its sale. That will rather improve the credibility of your work also, so that the customers they will be a regular customer with our beekeepers or our institute, and this way you can share the material with them, and of course this everything will help in improving the performance in combination with your management. Of course, if I'm having the best of stock and doing the worst of management, it won't give much to me. So management always is an important part, but preparing good quality queens is very important. So when we started with this program, we found it very difficult. In 2012, first time we reared some of the queens having some hygienic behavior, and then these people they said that why to invest money in this when we can divide the colony and get the queen. But the thing is, now they have understood, and now they are asking for one person coming for 50, 100 or 150 queen bees, because division will make your colonies unproductive. So if you are having good quality queen, you introduce it into the colony, and within 2 to 3 days it will start laying eggs. So the period of queenlessness or broodlessness or absence of eggs during that period, that will be minimized, and that will help in having better productivity of your apiary. course, while grafting, you have to take into consideration the weather. Don't go for grafting when it's a scorching sunshine, because that can desiccate the larvae which you are grafting. Or the other way around, if you are doing it early in the morning, even chilling of brood, that may also be a problem. So you have to do it quickly. With experience, you will learn. It won't take more than a few seconds to transfer a larva from comb into these cells. And while you are going for grafting, don't try too many times to pick that larva. If that larva has been misplaced or it has been shifted from its position, don't try to carry that 3 or 4 times, because most probably its survival will be affected by that. Try to pick it in the first attempt and transfer it properly. So a few things which need to be taken into consideration I have talked about. If you are having any queries, I would try to answer to those queries. Thank you.
Sir, at the time of grafting the larva, transferring, you
Yes.
need to put some royal jelly inside the cup.
Yeah, there are one we call the dry grafting or the wet grafting. Even you go for dry grafting, that also will give you queen bees if you are not having any availability of royal jelly with you. But it's not a difficult task to get some royal jelly for grafting. For that purpose, you make some colonies queenless 4 days before the start of grafting. So within that period, those colonies, they will raise a few queen cells which will be having royal jelly in that. So on the day of grafting, you remove the royal jelly from those cells and use that for priming these cells for grafting. Of course, priming will reduce the desiccation of the larvae. It will improve survival and acceptability of the larvae also. Even in some cases, you can even go for the double grafting. So that all depends upon what situation you are in.
Sir, second question. Instead of you are using wax cup, you can use the plastic cup kit. Which is better?
Both are giving almost equal results. Because if you are having the good quality plastic queen cell cups, they are equally good for queen rearing. Beeswax cells, of course, that option is economical. Our beekeepers, they already are having beeswax available with them. You simply have to melt it and prepare the queen cell cups. You can save some money in that case. But again, it depends upon the size of the cells, its proper shape, and its proper fixation also. You have to prepare the right size cells. If you are preparing very large size cells, it will be difficult for grafting also. Acceptance is also reduced, and its smooth inner surface should also be smooth. So that you have to make sure while using this mandrel that it should be smooth from the lower part, so that cell is not having any extra wax particles lying there. And then its fixation also. If you are fixing these cells properly, it should be almost perpendicular to the surface. If it is they are much at much an angle, that also can affect it. So the best option is go for the preparation of beeswax cells for saving some money, and if that option is not available, you can use plastic cells as well.
Sir, this method can we use in Apis cerana also?
Yes, surely we can use. For Apis cerana, the method is same, only the cell size is different.
I think 8 mm.
8 mm at the tip, 6.5 mm at the bottom. So that is the only difference. Otherwise, technique is same: selection, and then breeder colony, cell builder colony. Everything is same. Yes.
Sir, how we manage drones to avoid this inbreeding problem for breeding purpose, so as to avoid inbreeding?
For that purpose, if we are, say, out of 100, if you are selecting 2 or 3 colonies and then using those 2 and 3 colonies for rearing queen bees and using drones from those colonies also, of course, that will create a problem of inbreeding in the coming period. That's why for this program, you need to have around 25-30 colonies at least, which you have selected, at least. It's better to have 50 such colonies. Then you can create some groups of these, and you can use some of the colonies and the drone as drone mother colonies, in which you will be encouraging drone rearing. Those also will be the colonies which are highly productive, having least problems of mite and diseases. So that way you can have a better crossing of those. And again, in every generation, you need to go for selection. If I am, say, rearing 80 queens from very good mother and very good drone mother colonies, all 80 won't be at par with the queen, the mother colonies. Maybe 4 or 5 may be below the average, and 10 or 15 may be even better than the mother. This we have found from the breeding for the last so many years, that there are few colonies which go well beyond the performance of the mother colony also. So that way you can go for selection in every generation, and that will help you in maintaining more productive colonies. And at some stages you can introduce fresh stock also in your program. You get some colonies, assess those for the desirable trait, and then you can bring those colonies into the breeding program also, to have some fresh material or to improve the genetic variability also.
So in artificial insemination, which type of drone we select?
Which type of?
Which character of the drones we desire? In artificial insemination, we need very small.
For that purpose, sir, actually we have to look at the performance of the colony. Then out of that colony we will be using drones. Of course, drones, if they are not getting proper nourishment, they won't be giving enough semen. We'll find many of those, they have nothing or almost nothing available. So their nutrition, their age, both factors, they are very important. And you don't take them as granted that of course drones are there, they will help us in that pursuit. You need to feed them a lot of pollen or pollen substitute such colonies, so that they are getting proper nutrition, they are healthy, and they are able to have, they are able to produce enough sperm in that case. So their age also matters. If they have 7 days, 10 days, 14 days old, if it is younger than that, it won't be giving anything. So even that those combs which you are using for the drone brood rearing, you can encourage drone brood rearing by giving them the comb foundation which is having the impressions of the drone cell size. You give a lot of pollen to the colonies. You create congestion in the colony. That way you can help rearing more number of drones in the colony also. Yes, anything else? Nothing more than.
Thank you, sir.
So I hope we, all of us as a team, will be able to do something good for the beekeeping. So if at any time you need any help, I maybe, so you are free to contact me. Thank you very much.
I would request you to please stay on stage for a moment. For this, I would like to call upon stage Mr. Uri and Dr. Ramesh Kumar from IBTC to hand over the certificate and memento to our speaker. Thank you everyone. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, at the end of today's technical session, one more we are left with. So I would like to call upon stage Dr. Mandeep Rathi, Technical Officer from KVK Cathal, for sharing his views on bee flora management during dearth periods. So please.
So very good afternoon to all the officers. As from Dr. Ramesh, I came to know that most of the participants are from the horticulture background and a few are entomologists. So it will be good to interact with you guys, because you can, this information if transferred to you, you can implement. You are the resource person to implement at district level or the state level. So, so we know that angiosperms came into existence and the pollinators co-evolved with them. So nature is always taking its organisms together. So we can see that we have pondered plastic in our season. Organisms and bacteria are coming to work on it and destroy it. So nature is always working in co-evolution with all the organisms. And you might have been told all these things in previously by our respected speakers. So for the first time the Apis mellifera was imported in India, introduced in India in 1962 in Himachal Pradesh, then in 1966 in Punjab, and in 1982 in Haryana. The scientific beekeeping came into existence with the introduction of the Apis mellifera species. And this is the latest data of the recorded registered beekeepers and colonies. There is a portal, all of you might be aware, that is the Madhu Kranti portal. So for the latest data you can go and fetch the data from that website. And now coming to the bee flora, why India is such a beautiful country for the bees and other pollinators to survive and impact our pollination and the crop yields. Because it is one of the 13 mega biodiversity countries in the world, and there are more than 750 floral species and more than 250 have been reported from Haryana. And there are a lot of research papers from the various states of India and the countries in abroad. I will be mentioning them later in my slides. And Haryana is also a best suited state for the commercial beekeeping, as 8 to 9 months are quite suitable for the honeybees, because bee flora is available during these months. Next please. So there are freedom for speech to us and a lot of freedoms in the constitutions. So in my views there should be freedom for bees. So there are mainly 5 types of freedom. So freedom from hunger and thirst. So we'll be discussing this freedom in this session. There is freedom from discomfort. Discomfort in the way that while migration they are feeling discomfort, while placing the colonies they are feeling discomfort, and freedom from pain, injury and disease. This is the main topic of this training as well. And freedom to express the normal behavior. So they must be placed in such a location that their ample bee flora is available for them to forage upon. and freedom from the fear and distress. So distress, any kind of abiotic stress or biotic stress. So as a beekeeper, as a scientific personnel, we should take care of all these freedoms to run our apiary in a profitable manner. Next please. So what is bee flora? Any plant which provides the bees with nectar, pollen or both, and another component is the propolis. So any plant which provides the bees with all these resources is known as the bee flora, because all plants are not bee flora. So what is the major two components are the nectar and the pollen. As we all know that we all require chapati and dal. These are the basic things. One provides the carbohydrate and other provides the proteins. So bees require the nectar for their all the body function and carry out the hive duties, like they have to go for foraging, they have to go for fetching water from the environment, they have to go for they have to fight with the intruders at the entrance of the hive. So it all requires energy. And another component is the pollen. So pollen completes the protein requirements, and protein is the mainly building block of the body of the honeybees, that is to develop from larva to pupae to adult. So they require protein. And in addition, pollen provides lipids, stars and all other ingredients required by us also. Next. So how to identify, when you go to field, how to identify that the bee is foraging for nectar, pollen or propolis? So when you see any bee diving into a flower, because the nectaries are seated either on the staminal or above the ovary, beneath the ovary or below the sepal as well. So to the left of this slide you can see the bees are diving into the flower. So it's clear that they are taking nectar from the flower. And when you see the bees maneuvering around the flower and their hind leg is carrying the pollen, you can see the bee is collecting pollen from the penicetum, that is bajra. And another method is you can use the refractometer to test if this nectar is there or not. So when the reading is above 0, so it has taken some nectar from the plant. Another method is you see any bee on the flower, you catch that bee, hold it towards its sides and squeeze the abdomen. If any liquid is there oozing from its mouth, it will be the nectar. Okay, so you can identify it from observing the bees working on the flowers. Next. So nectar collection. So have you ever wondered that bees collect nectar from which organ of the plant? So these are the nectaries. So these are located at various places. So they might be located on the sepal, they might be located on the petals, on the stamen and on the ovary as well. And there are some extra floral nectaries as well. Please. Next slide. So this is the position of the nectary near to the ovarial part. Next slide please. So these are the presence of the nectaries. This is not a honeybee, but these pictures have been taken just to show that how the insect approaches the nectaries. Some are present above the stamen, some are present below the stamen. Next please. So these are the nectaries in the dark black color. These are below the sepals, and some nectaries are present above the sepal. So no part of the flower is lacking the nectaries. In different flowers, nectaries are located at different positions. Next please. So these are some extrastaminal and the intrastaminal nectaries. Next please. These are some are the adjacent to the ovary, some are superior to the ovary and some are inferior to the ovary. Next please. So these are the extra floral nectaries that you can see that the nectar is visible on the near the petiole of the Prunus avium plant. So you can see that bees have to search for different types of nectaries in different flowers. So how efficient bees are in locating the nectaries. Next please. So now coming to the pollen collection. So you might have been told earlier that pollen is collected by the honeybees in the hind leg. So there is a structure known as the corbiculae or the pollen basket. So bees collect all the pollen and some moisture is also there, and this pollen gets stick into this corbulae in the form of pollen pellet. So we call it a pollen pellet. So pollen collection is affected by mode of pollination. In those crops which are highly cross-pollinated, so you get a bigger size of the pollen pellet. For example, in the bajra, in mustard, you can easily see the pollen. But when bees are pollinating berseem, the pollen is very small in size. You can't even differentiate between the leg of the honeybee and the size of, and the color of the pollen is also same. Next please. So I was telling you about the another reward, that is the propolis. So there are number of plants from which bees collect the propolis. So you can see that it is dark brown to reddish in color. You might have seen that gum oozing out from the plants. So this is the propolis. So this is used for the protection of the hives. Even I have seen that bees have used this propolis to paste even a till hawk moth in their hives. And wax moth are also, so it is used as a protectant of the hives. And it is also being harvested and sold as liquids or powders or tinctures in number of countries. One of my known friends, she is a beekeeper in China and she is selling pollen, propolis tincture, propolis soap, propolis toothpaste. They are not working on honey anymore. They are working on pollen, venom and propolis. Next please. So now we will be discussing about the bee flora. So there are different types of classifications of bee flora. So based on the source we can say that either it is providing nectar or pollen, or it is providing both the resources, along with it may provide the propolis as well. Next please. So based on crop types there might be field crops like the mustard, fruit crops, lychee, plantation crops, vegetable crops, fodder crops, oilseed crops, fiber, and weeds are the most important of the bee flora, because when no crop is available for the honeybees, they rely on the weeds, and weeds are the first to emerge after the monsoon season. So we'll be dealing with them in the coming slide. So next please. So based on utilities, there might be major utilities. Some crops are only providing high pollen to the honeybees like bajra, and some are providing both like mustard, it is providing nectar as well, pollen as well. So medium utility, some weeds are of medium utility, some ornamentals are also of medium utility, minor utility and poor utility, which are not preferred by honeybees, but when nothing is available, they are going to forage on that crops. ये आप सबके साथ भी होता होगा, किसी को कुछ कढ़ाई पनीर पसंद है लेकिन कई बार ऐसा होता है जो अवेलेबल होता है वो खाना ही पड़ता है. तो बीज के साथ डर्थ पीरियड में ऐसा होता है, they have to rely upon the underutilized flora as well. Next please. So bee floral periods, there the entomologists as well, they always say that honey flow period. So I should say it should not be stated as honey flow period, because honey doesn't flow, it's the nectar which flows. So this term should be used as not as honey flow period, rather than the nectar flow period. So there are some flora when there is abundant amount of nectar is being released by those plants. So this period is known as the nectar flora period. So bees are already preparing themselves to forage upon that plant, because they know everything. It's in their biological clock that this plant will bloom during January to February or March to April, and it will bloom from 8 to 9 am, 10 to 11 am. They know everything. So we have to just correlate with these things. So most of you are horticulture officers, you know that in poly houses the farmers do the cross-pollination by themselves. Our university has developed hives which have two-way entrance. So when there is the flowering time in the poly house, you can open that entrance, and rest of the time you can open the other entrance that is outside the poly house. So these such type of hives can be promoted in, especially in the strawberry cultivation, in cooker beets as well. Another one is the dearth period. So dearth period, dearth means scarcity. So when there are no major bee flora available to the plants, it is known as dearth period. When there is scarcity, so we can order our food from Zomato and Swiggy, but these creatures can't. So we have to shift or migrate them from the scarcity, the place which is facing the scarcity, to the place where the major bee flora is available. and the other alternate option is the artificial feeding. So we have to go for one or the other method. So factor affecting nectar or pollen production. So there are number of factors affecting the nectar or the pollen production. So the major I have mentioned the species. So it depends upon species to species. One species is giving you a lot of nectar, other is giving less. One is giving more of pollen, other is giving less of the pollen. So size of the nectarian flower also matters. Cultivar also matters. Location of the branch, location of flowers. Male female flower arrangement also matters. Age and stage of the flower also matter, and weather conditions are the most important external factors that affect. When it is cloudy day, so you might observe that the bees are going less for foraging. Also when all the plants respond to the daylight hours. So when cloudy day is there, so nectar secretion, pollen secretion might have altered time or might be reduced during the cloudy day. Soil temperature, aeration and water levels, and these are the other things that affect the production. Next please. So how to estimate a beekeeping potential of a locality? Suppose a beekeeper has purchased 50 hives and he is novice in this enterprise. So it's our duty to let him know that how to adjudge that this locality is better for beekeeping or it is not that good for beekeeping. So this can be adjusted by keeping these major points in view. So we have to identify that how many types of flowering plants are available in 1 to 3 kilometer area of radius. We scientifically say that bees can forage up to 6 kilometers, but efficiently they can forage up to 1 to 3 kilometers. So time of opening of the flower and duration of opening of the flower is also an important aspect while selecting a locality. And whether it is a source of pollen or nectar or both, acreage of the major bee flora. Suppose if there are only 1 acre or 2 acre of mustard and you are intending to go for setting up a 50 box apiary, so it is not feasible. It won't support that your 50 hives apiary will be suitable for 1 to 2 acres of mustard. So you have to keep this in also your mind. And what are the major other flowering plants instead of the major bee flora? And duration of the flowering period and duration of the dearth period you should also know. Suppose you have put your hives in a locality and there is no flora for 2 to 3 months and you are not aware of that. And this is the major constraint of the novice beekeepers, because they don't know about that they have to migrate their bees, that no major flora is available for the bees to rely upon in a profitable manner. Next please. Now how to estimate the potential of a bee flora? We talked about the locality, okay, we have found out the great locality. Now what should be the characters in that flora to support the beekeeping? So relative abundance of the bee visitors. So we can measure that per minute how many bees are visiting that crop or particular plant. We can go for the intensity of the bee foragers. We can go for the rate of the foraging. We can see the mode of the foraging, that there are top forager or the side forager or the nectar forager, pollen forager, behavior of the bee foraging, potential of the bee flora for honey production. We should always consider that this crop is highly profitable for nectar or honey production, or this is suitable if I am going for pollen production. So I should keep my colonies on such a crop that provides ample pollen to my Apis mellifera colonies, like the Penicetum, glaucum or the mustard crop. These are good crops for the collection of the pollen. Even there is a weed I will show you in that slide. So the pollen of this weed is very beneficial for the pregnant females and even the males also. So it develops the testosterone levels, and the seeds of this weed are also sold in a mandi in Nimach in Rajasthan, and we are not aware about all this, but bees are collecting this pollen during August month, and it is available in plenty in almost in every state of the northern India. And we can go for melissopalenological studies. So this facility is available at the Central Bee Research Institute, Pune. So with mesopalynological study, we can send our honey samples or pollen samples, and they will identify from the microscopic studies that this pollen is of the origin of from this plant. So these studies also help the identify the which floras are coming from the environment in our colonies. Next please. So these are some of the important bee flora of the different states of the India. Next please. Next please. Next please. Next please. Next please. So these are some of the migratory routes in the northwestern India. So this knowledge of migratory route is must. The beekeeper who is highly experienced, he knows that he has to take his colonies on this bare crop and then he has to shift on to the mustard. So he also knows that mustard will first come in the Bharatpur and the Kota region in Rajasthan, then he will come to the southern Haryana, then he will shift it to the eucalyptus in March, and then Barsim will came. So different beekeepers from different states follow different migratory routes. In our area, mustard and eucalyptus are the major crops for the honey production. And then multiflora is available also during the September to October. Next please. Next please. So these are the important bee flora of our Indian subcontinent. Mustard, taramira used to be an important crop here, but now it's not grown. It's cultivated in Rajasthan. Toria, eucalyptus, bajra, khair. So khair is one of the important crop in the high altitudes in the Panchkula and the higher regions. So our beekeepers migrate on this bee flora when dearth period starts in our Haryana region. So then sunflower, earlier Kaithal, Karnal, Kurukshetra used to be the hub of the sunflower cultivation. And beekeeping was highly prominent on sunflower only. But as the course of duration, such hybrids have been introduced that nectar production is also less in those sunflower hybrids, and moreover acreage has also reduced in this area. Next please. So we have seen that it's a dearth period in Haryana during June, July, August, September. Mainly these are the 4 months. And you can see in the bottom right that the Apis mellifera is foraging on the basmati paddy. And in our area, farmers go for sprays, and there are always beekeepers come to us that my bees have died, I have placed them near the river or some other water channel. But this is the main reason that their bees are killed, because farmers continuously keep on spraying on the paddy crop. Next please. These are the other bee flora. Next please. Next please. These are some of the temperate fruits, and Apis mellifera is efficiently used in the production of these temperate fruits. Next please. Next please. So what are the major constraints in Indian beekeeping? So this is one of the studies, but I think most of you will agree with these points. So there is lack of knowledge of bee floral calendars and the dearth periods and migratory routes, mostly in the novice beekeepers. So we can decimate this information to them during one or the other training. So there is lack of knowledge of supplementary feeding. So like I said that we require the dal and roti. So during the dearth period when nothing is available, we have to feed the bees artificially. In our area we recommend just for the survival, not for making honey. We recommend nearly 1 liter of the sugar syrup and 100 gram of pollen weekly to an Apis mellifera colony for surviving during the dearth period. Moreover, our university have tested lot of sugar syrups जिनसे हमारे गुलाब जामुन ये सब बनते हैं. Maize syrup, high fructose corn syrup and liquid, and these are 5 to 10 rupees cheaper than sugar. So we have tested them as well, and we have found that liquid glucose is as efficient as sugar syrup. So we can also try this liquid glucose as an alternate of the sugar syrup. So lack of queen and drone rearing, as Dr. Jaspal have interacted with you, that there is lack of queen registered. Some of the units are registered as bee breeders, but they are not bee breeders. They are just in profitable farms. So bee breeders are must for a profitable apiculture business. And insect pest and disease management. So insect pest has always been a hindrance, and now a small hive beetle has invaded India recently, and it has arrived in Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan as well. So ICR is surveying on that as well. So I request you, if that insect has arrived in your apiaries as well, so please take survey of that insect, because that can also be a serious threat to the Apis mellifera colonies in the coming days. Next please. So I talked about the bee floral calendar. So what is bee floral calendar? So bee floral calendar is the temporal and spatial availability of the bee floral plants throughout the year, throughout the different geographic regions of the country. Now what are the steps involved in preparing bee floral calendar? As I already showed you that our scientists have prepared the bee floral calendars, but how can you utilize them? And you can also identify the proper seasons and plants in your geographical area as well. So we can prepare them by, we have to identify the plant species, we have to record their flowering period, record their density, utility to bees, location, seasonal availability. Even we have surveyed in Rajasthan, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana as well. And we observed that Apis cerana bees have been disappearing from most of the locations. It can be due to environmental change or varroa or other facts. But I reported that in most of the Rajasthan area, near to Jaisalmer, Badwar, I was unable to locate the Apis cerana. And this is the proper species of the Indian, that's called the Indian bee, is the Apis cerana. So that's how climate change and the other factors are affecting the existence of the honeybees. Next please. Steps, we can go for field studies, we can go for fortnightly surveys in our district or block or village, 2-3 village. Distribution of flora which are visited by bees can be studied. Ecological and environment requirements of this species can be studied. Suppose if you know that I visited Rajasthan and many ICR institutes, and one plant is there, Ticoma, that yellow bell flowering plant. So it is attracting all the pollinators. So you as officers can plant that plant in your offices or in your fields. So it also gives an aesthetic value and also is a great source for most of the pollinators. You can observe at least 20 pollinators on a single plant. So we can collect the pollen and the honey samples and go for melisopalenological studies to identify the plant of the origin. Next. So as I told you, there is a dearth period, and long dearth period from May to November has been reported in India, and shorter dearth periods May to August in Punjab and Maharashtra and Karnataka have been reported. In temperate countries, dearth period is observed during the winter seasons. For example, in Israel, that July to February is the dearth period as reported by Avni and others. Next please. So how can we use this floral calendar for the benefit of the beekeeper? So floral calendar is usually prepared for year around. So it is confirmed continuously up to 3 years or more that this bee flora is potential, this is giving this much nectar, this is giving pollen, this is giving bore, and this flora can help sustain bees during dearth period. So it is most important for migratory beekeeping, and it helps to decide how many colonies we can keep per hectare for particular crop. So these things you might have been told by Dr. Gaurav in previous session as well. Next please. So this is the melisopalenological studies to identify the source of the origin of the pollen or in the honey. which plant is providing pollen, which plant is providing the honey. So if we go for the melisopalenological studies of honey, we can know that nectar is coming from these plants. If we go for the melisopalenological studies of pollen, we can know that pollen is coming from this plant. Because when you see in the pollen trap, all the pollens are of same color, yellow, green, orange, some mixed kind of. So by visibly we cannot differentiate between that this pollen is coming from which flora. So either you have to survey on the plant itself or go for the melisopalenological studies. Next please.
Sir, 1 minute. Pollen of Parthenium.
Yeah.
It's harmful to human beings.
Yeah, it's harmful because there are number of allergens and the studies have been conducted on this. So we are not recommending it for consumption. We have identified that it is available in the beehive. So studies, it has number of allergens. Every pollen is not for our consumption. So mustard and panicetum, they have been studied that they don't have any allergens. So different persons have different type of allergies. So this might be allergic to us if we consume it. But I will share some important information about this as well in the coming slide. So what happens during the dearth period in our area, if we don't migrate our colonies, within 15 to 20 days, what happens you can see in the difference in the top and the bottom picture. The pollen as well as the honey both have been reduced within 20 to 25 days. So this gives you that information. You have to go for migration or otherwise your colony will succumb to death, or you have to feed them artificially. So coming to the next please. So let's focus on the bee flora during the dearth period. We have discussed about the major bee floras. Now we are coming to the bee flora in the dearth period. From Haryana, even my guide Dr. O.P. Chaudhary has identified 123 bee floral plants. Now we tried to identify the bee floral plants during the dearth period. We artificially fed our colonies for 3 to 4 years and we surveyed in 0 to 3 kilometer of radius at Kaithal and Hisar, 2 locations in Haryana. So North Haryana and South Haryana, we extracted this information. So we come to know that, that weeds are the first to emerge after monsoon. And during monsoon, no major flora is available. So bees forage on number of weeds. So these are the glimpses of some weeds. You just keep them scrolling one by one, please. Next, please. Keep on scrolling, please. Next. Just stay here. So this was the weed I was telling you about, that is Tribulus terrestris. So its pollen is highly efficient and is tested for the pregnant ladies as well as the testosterone buildup on the men. And in the pollen supplements also that are sold by various brands, this pollen is, the powder of this pollen is also added. Next please. So you can see that in cannabis sativum, the bees have been observed as early as 5 am. So you have to take care at the time, at which time the bees visit on which flower. So bees will be visiting only during when the nectar production is maximum by that plant. So we observed this honey bees on this cannabis sativa as early as 5 to 6 am. Next please. So this is the Parthenium staurophorus. इसको कोई गाय भैंस कोई भी नहीं खाता, हम भी इससे डरते हैं, एलर्जी होती है, लेकिन देखो आप इस पे बीज 1.5 महीना तक फोरेज करती है. बिकॉज आई टोल्ड यू ड्यूरिंग डर्थ पीरियड दे गो ऑन सर्च फॉर फोरेज एंड नेक्टर, किसी से भी मिल जाए वो अपना फोरेज करती हैं ताकि कॉलोनी रिक्वायरमेंट्स को पूरी कर सके.
सर इससे जो नेक्टर आएगा तो हनी में भी मिक्स होगा? तो
इसमें नेक्टर नहीं आता, इट्स जस्ट प्रोवाइडिंग पोलन ओनली. Yeah.
It is also hazardous to human beings.
It also gives you mainly the pollen, and beekeepers are harvesting pollen from this in Rajasthan.
So that pollen is edible?
Actually, I can't say that I have not read about it. About Parthenium, I strictly told you. So studies can be initiated on the consumption of this pollen. So bees are consuming this. For us, mustard and bajra are good to go. Next please. So there are some ornamental oilseed crops in our campus. We have observed in the village at 0 to 3 kilometer radius of the two apiaries at two locations. So we can go for the plantation of such crops in our area, in our fields, at borders as well. Next please. So these are the cereal crops in paddy, maize, bajra, barsi. Next please. So there are a number of ornamentals. You can go for these ornamentals. The bottle brush is a very good source of nectar. And even when we were during our childhood, we have also just have squeezed that nectar and checked it is so sweet. So bees love this, and this blooms during the September-October month. Next please. So this is marigold, yellow canary, bougainvillea. Next please. Next please. Next please. So these are some of the plantation crops. So this is the devil's tree, and it blooms in the October. Recently it has bloomed, and it's just when the bloom is coming on this plant, it initiates that dearth period is over in India. And it is lust with nectar. It is a major source of nectar. So if you can go for the plantation of this plant, we have planted this plant, nearly 500 plants in our College of Agriculture Cole campus. So it is also a good source of nectar. Next please. So there are a number of vegetable crops. Next please. So this is what we call it is a floral calendar. So in grey color you see the flowering period. But in the yellow color you see that peak period when bees are visiting that plant. So next please. Next please. Next please. Yeah. Just previous slide. Previous. So likewise in Israel also they have reported 15 to 20 bee flora during the dearth period. So because these plants are also important, if we are considering Apis mellifera, we should also consider the other bees, wild bees. So these bees will be surviving on these weeds as well. Our cultivated bees, we can migrate them. But what about the native bees? So as an agriculturist, we can recommend the हेल्थ ऑफिशियल्स कई बार वो मच्छर मारने के लिए स्प्रे करते हैं पूरे विसिनिटी में, तो हम इस एरिया को अवॉइड करवा सकते हैं. या फार्मर स्प्रे करे तो उसको भाई ड्यूरेशन बता दो, भाई इस वीड पे या इस प्लांट पे मक्खी इतने बजे जाती है, 8 से 10 बजे आप शाम को स्प्रे कर लें. तो ऐसी चीज़ें हम आगे रेकमेंड कर सकते हैं बी कीपर्स. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. So that's how we classified our plants. So we observed that 16 plants provided nectar only, 11 provided pollen only. That's during dearth period. They are providing all these. What happens during dearth period? That pollen production is reduced and nectaries dry up. So limited amount of nectar and pollen is available. So we cannot sustain beekeeping during dearth beyond this flora. But this is just a glimpse that bees visit so many plants, and whether they are providing higher or less nutrition, they are visiting just to survive. And you can observe that 44 plants were providing both the resources. So nature has provided a lot of opportunities for the pollinators to survive. We have to identify and conserve them. Next please. So this is the scenario of the pollen income in Haryana. So we can see that nearly 25 gram of pollen was observed during June. So what this graph shows that dearth period is coming. The pollen has decreased to 5.4 per gram. It's minimal, bees cannot survive. So either you migrate or provide them artificial pollen. You can collect the pollen during the main crop season and provide 100 gram per week per colony. There is a very easy method to provide pollen. Either you prepare the pollen supplement, or you can directly collect the pollen, make the powder in your mixie and pour it into the hive and spray some sugar solution. And we have observed this traditional ITK that bees consume that pollen on the next dates. And during the October when this, I told that the Alstonia tree and Bajra came and the pollen reached to 33 gram. Even this much amount of pollen is not sufficient. Sufficient is 75 to 100 gram per day, per colony. But see during that period what is the situation in North Haryana. So this shows that we have to migrate our colonies during this period, or supplementary fed them colonies if we want the colonies to survive. Next please. So you can see that why Parthenium is an important source for Apis mellifera, but nobody dare to touch it or forage upon it. So crude protein content was maximum in the pollen of this plant, and you all know that for the development from egg to larva to pupae, the bees require the pollen. Pollen is the building block. So see that Parthenium is providing the maximum amount of crude protein content and the maximum protein and the maximum calorific value, that is the energy, is provided by the bajra, and again Parthenium is there. So you can see the importance of Parthenium to honeybees during the month of July itself. Next please. Now we came to know that which type of bee flora is giving which type of resource to the honeybees. Now we need to conserve them. How can we conserve them? If there we have planted such plants in our vicinity, we are letting the weeds to grow in an area which is not cultivated by us. A fallow field is available with the institute or nearby village. So we can let the weeds grow, we can collect their seeds, we can prepare the seed balls and distribute them during our transportation. Avoid any spray on the bee forage area, whether it is a main crop or the weeds growing. And don't spray at the peak activity period of bees. So we showed you that peak activity is during this month, during this time. So we can convey to the farmers that please avoid spraying during these 2 hours or this duration on that particular crop. We can promote the cultivation of bee-friendly ornamentals in our institutes. We can develop the pollinator gardens. So we can identify that these flora are aesthetic as well to my campus. These are beneficial for bees as well. So I can plant those bee flora in my campus, or government can initiate the plantation of flowering plants on the both sides of the highways. In the recent times you might have noticed this change, that flowering plants are there on the both sides of the highways. So this also helps the beekeeping. So government can provide remunerative price to farmers for bee forage crops, like bee forage crops अगर farmer grow करे तो उसको थोड़ा MSP ज़्यादा दिया जाए. अब आजकल तो farmers बहुत aware हैं, पहले तो भगा भी देते थे beekeepers को. Nowadays farmers are aware that these are benefiting our crops. They are not extracting nectar and reducing the yields, but in addition they are pollinating. So pollination services, the farmers is now aware about those pollination services, and they are letting the beekeepers please make halt at our farms, and yields are increased numerous times. So in different crops the increase in the yield percentage is different. So this might have been covered by Dr. Gaurav as well during his pollination lecture. Next please. So thank you very much everyone, and if you have any question you can please discuss it with me.
सर अगर भविष्य में जीरो टाइप जीएम क्रॉप आता है तो मधुमक्खी पे क्या असर होगा उसका?
देखिए सर, जीएम क्रॉप्स का ऐसे तो वो उसमें एक बैक्टीरिया इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं, उसका हनी बी से कोई रिलेशन नहीं, लेकिन हम ये कहते हैं कि जो उसमें जो नेक्टर है ना, वो नेक्टर प्रोडक्शन, पोलन प्रोडक्शन, वो चीज़ें अल्टर हो सकती हैं. उसमें नेक्टर प्रोडक्शन कम हो सकता है, उसमें पोलन कम हो सकता है. उसके क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होंगे हमें उसके बारे में जानना चाहिए. तो ऐसे बी लवर मैं भी इसको सपोर्ट नहीं करता हूँ, लेकिन जो गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज़ होती हैं तो वो जैसे बीटी ब्रिंजल है अभी आया, फिर उस पर रोक लगा दी. अब मस्टर्ड को हमने ओपन कर दिया, जीएम मस्टर्ड को. तो जब तक हम फील्ड में चीज़ें ऑब्जर्व नहीं कर सकते, मेरे हिसाब से तो ये नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. उसके पैरामीटर्स क्या होंगे, उसकी फ्लावरिंग ड्यूरेशन, उसकी जो पोलन और एंथर कंटेंट उसमें क्या होगा, नेक्टर कंटेंट क्या होगा, उस पर डिपेंड करेगा.
सर गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी आने से पहले एक ट्रायल लेना चाहिए।
गवर्नमेंट तो करती है ट्रायल, जो अपनी जेनेटिक इंजीनियरिंग जो कमेटी है वो कितने साल से ट्रायल ही कर रही है, नहीं तो एकदम तो आ ही जाती वो। उसका फील्ड में आने के बाद ही पता, जैसे बीटी कॉटन के बारे में भी बहुत ह्यू एंड क्राई था, भाई इसके हम कपड़े पहनते हैं हमें कुछ हो जाए, लेकिन आज तक कुछ नहीं हुआ है। सो अनलेस अंटिल यू एग्जामिन ए टेक्नोलॉजी एट द फील्ड वी कैन नॉट गिव द एग्जैक्ट डाटा।
सर टिकोमा का अपने बोलो उसे पोलन मिलता है या
नेक्टर, little bit of pollen, but it is a major source of nectar. And Apis dorsata are the major pollinators. Apis mellifera was just 1 to 2%. And there are a number of other moths and butterflies are 20 to 25 pollinators. So it is very aesthetic plant. It gives a great look, and because it flowers for 8 to 9 months. So it gives an aesthetic value and also supports the pollinators as well.
Sir, ice cream creeper is also a good plant, wild. It's a wild and it gives around 10 months average.
Okay.
Ice cream creeper and wild plant. There is no need of watering.
Okay, that's a good. I have not read about that. Ice cream creeper.
In Maharashtra it's
Okay.
कोई प्लांट बीज की भी पॉइजनस भी है एंड और वो विजिट भी करते हैं वहाँ से नेक्टर भी ले आती हैं और सम जैसे हम देखते हैं इसमें कि दे आर कलेक्टिंग फ्रॉम मैनी रेयर सोर्सेज लाइक rhododendron and some larium plants which are commonly planted along the roadside. So sir, what about that? They are supposed to be poisonous little bit for bees.
But bee will not forage on that poisonous plant. I said you that bee floral. So every plant is floral, but what is bee floral plant? That is benefiting the bees. So once a bee, what happens that when the scouts, they are foragers, they visit any area, they identify that this plant is good for health, it is nutritious, it is providing this much nectar. Then they come back to their hives, they dance, they do the waggle dance, and they just convey the message to all the bees. So if they are visiting any poisonous plant, they will convey the message that this plant is not good. So bee will not go on that plant. So your point is good, such plants can be studied because sometimes bees may die and if they visit on that plant. But as I said that there is biological clock, she will not visit again if it is poisonous. आप भी अगर कोई खराब चीज़ है उसको खाओगे तो आप दोबारा नहीं खाओगे, तो इससे जस्ट ए लर्निंग बिहेवियर। डर्थ में हो सकता है, but we did not observe such phenomena. We never observed dying of the bees, and that we observed dying, but that was due to the spray on the rice field.
We have seen in books that ambition is collected from the rhododendron.
Yes.
That is deep into the cave. But that is toxic in nature, even though they have high property of the nutrition and most phosphorus honey in the world.
Yes, yes. I also read about it, but I was not aware that it was toxic as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, it is having some toxic, actually having intoxication.
Yes, sir.
Intoxication.
That's what I mean to say. Intoxication. Exactly.
Breeding may get any quality, effect on quality of feed.
Dr. Jaspal, please. He's asking about breeding.
Artificial breeding, it may affect the quality of honey.
Artificial breeding.
Okay.
Actually, when we are feeding to the bees, that is a situation when they are not getting any food out from the outside. That is for their survival or for making the colony to at least go for sustainability, that they are able to rear some
Dearth period. And if I recommended you that 1 liter of sugar syrup and 100 gram of pollen per week is sufficient to survive a colony, to help survive that colony. But if you are feeding 10 liters per week, and bees are collecting 3 liters out of this, and they are able to use only 2 liters. So they just store that honey, that will be mixed with your nectar as well. And never artificially fed during the honey flow season. It will add to the adulteration. Thank you so much.
Sir, for sharing your insights among all our participants. Now I would like to request Mr. Ori and Dr. Jaspal to present the certificate and memento to our speaker, Dr. Mandeep Rathi.
इनको बताइए।
जी सर क्या हो गया तेरा वो एक्चुअली ना डीएमसी है आजम स्टेट और वो बेटा कौन सा
I started beekeeping. I have took my training initially from Pune, from Hemant Kumar Dumbre sir. My official first training was happened in Pune. So after that I have taken training over here, IBDC center. After completing my studies in Canada and staying there in 3.5 years, I came back to India and I am currently doing beekeeping. And currently I have 200 beehives and I am harvesting plenty of honey over here. So beekeeping field for younger people, I promote that young people should come in the field of beekeeping. A lot of scope is here in India as compared to the rest of the world, as there are plenty of floral available and we can get many types of honey here. So understanding beekeeping is a major thing and getting into it is also a main thing. There are a lot of challenges over here in the field of beekeeping, like I would like to share some. Like migration is a challenge, getting labor for the honey extraction is also a challenge. If we overcome that, things will get easier because the infrastructure is still in the development stage in India. So beekeeping need promotion and departments are doing good work promoting beekeeping. So that's the whole thing over here. So I'm lucky to have a word here. So thank you. If you have any question, you can ask me related to beekeeping. Anything?
Please share your phone number so that we can contact with you via WhatsApp during our requirement.
I will share my card with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Myself Dr. Uttam Sane. I am working from Krishi Udyan Kendra in Palghar district, Maharashtra. मैं लगभग 15 साल से फार्मर को ट्रेनिंग दे रहा बी कीपिंग के ऊपर, ज़्यादातर एपिस सेरेना इंडिका के ऊपर हम काम करते हैं और ट्राइगोना पे मेरी फेरा तो जस्ट डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन के लिए हर साल में लगभग 500 to 1000 जो फार्मर्स को हम टीच करते हैं। इसमें बहुत सारा 3 दिन में बहुत सारा सीखने को मिला। जो मेली फेरा में काम कर रहे थे तो वही कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी हम सेरेना पे कोरिलेट करेंगे, उसको उपयोग करेंगे। डॉक्टर जसपाल सिंह मेरे गुरु हैं, जो 2 बार मैं उनसे ट्रेनिंग लिया था पंजाब लुधियाना में, तो फार्मर्स को लेकर भी गया था, वहाँ से भी बहुत सारे क्वीन रेयरिंग का जो टेक्निक वो सीखा। फ्लोरा मैनेजमेंट का भी आज बहुत कुछ मिले, डॉक्टर साहब से मिले, अच्छा नॉलेज मिला। ज़्यादा मैंने जो 15 साल में जो कुछ फाइंडिंग्स किया है कि जो ट्रेनिंग सेंटर जैसे खादी और खादी मंडल है, खादी KVIC है, ये करते हैं। यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में ज़्यादा ट्रेनिंग सेंटर नहीं है, लगभग इवन इन महाराष्ट्र also 4 universities are there but no any university run the training center about beekeeping. इंडिया में भी ज़्यादा नहीं है, लुधियाना में है और यहाँ पे हरियाणा में है, बाकी ऑल ओवर इंडिया में नहीं है। तो वह ज़रूरत है। और ट्रेनिंग सेंटर ऐसा होना चाहिए, हर तहसील मतलब ब्लॉक में एक ट्रेनिंग सेंटर होना चाहिए फार्मर के लिए। और फार्मर को सर्विस मिले, फार्मर को जो भी दिक्कत आती है वहाँ पे ब्लॉक लेवल पे, तहसील लेवल पे होना चाहिए, तो ये ज़रूरी है। तो हमारे और सिलेबस, हमारा एग्रीकल्चर सिलेबस उसमें भी प्रैक्टिकली था। जब मैं जो पढ़ा था, हमें तो बी कीपिंग में कुछ भी नहीं था, तो मैं तो जो भी बाहर से सीखा नॉलेज गेन करके। तो सिलेबस में अप्लाइड में होना चाहिए, एप्लीकेशन जो है वो होना चाहिए, वो जरूरी है चेंज करना। और ज़्यादा केवीआई और बहुत सारे हमारे गवर्नमेंट का जो सब्सिडीज है वो देते हैं कि बॉक्स यानी कॉलोनी तो बॉक्स के लिए सब्सिडी देते हैं लेने के लिए, लेकिन ट्रेनिंग पे ज़्यादा जोर देना चाहिए। अगर फार्मर्स को ट्रेनिंग नहीं है, खाली बॉक्स देकर कुछ भी फायदा नहीं। बहुत सारा इवन इन महाराष्ट्र आल्सो बहुत सारा पैसा वेस्टेज हो रहा है इसमें, बॉक्स देने में। इसमें ये ट्रेनिंग में ज़्यादा अगर खर्चा करने, फार्मर को बेसिक ट्रेनिंग देनी जरूरी है। हम फार्मर को ट्रेनिंग दे, बहुत बेसिक ट्रेनिंग देते हैं कि पेटी कैसे संभालना, हैंडलिंग कैसा करना। और ये तो आज का तो बहुत एडवांस ट्रेनिंग था, मल्टीसेन क्वालिटी हनी और जो ब्रीडिंग का है, फ्लोरा, ये सब। और जो ऑफ सीजन जैसे डर पीरियड में कैसा फ्लोरा मैनेजमेंट करना, ये भी बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें हम मतलब लैकिंग है। जैसे इजराइल एंड चाइना में बहुत प्रोग्रेस, यूएस में भी बहुत प्रोग्रेस है, लेकिन इंडिया बहुत हम पीछे है, ऐसा लग रहा है इतने सालों। तो जरूरी है क्योंकि हमारा प्रोडक्शन, एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन बढ़ना जरूरी है ना। विकसित भारत पे हम जा रहे हैं, लेकिन विकसित भारत के लिए बी कीपिंग बहुत जरूरत है। बी कीपिंग अगर अच्छा हम हनी भी ज़्यादा ये करेंगे तो प्रोडक्शन 2 गुना, दुगना नहीं 4-5 कितना गुना बढ़ सकता है। तो ये जरूरत है, लेकिन इसके लिए फार्मर्स को बेसिक लेवल पे ट्रेनिंग की बहुत ज़रूरत है। और ऐसे दूसरी एक बात कि हमारे एंटोमोलॉजिस्ट जितने भी हैं पूरे सभी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में, वो ज़्यादा एंटोमोलॉजिस्ट बी कीपिंग में नहीं जाते। पता नहीं क्यों, स्टिंग पे डरते कि क्या होते हैं, लेकिन वो एक प्रॉब्लम है। तो वो उसमें भी थोड़ा फोकस करना जरूरी है। तो मेरे कुछ पॉइंट्स थे, मैंने बता दें, मुझे बोलने के लिए समय दिया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Dr. Moran to please come up on stage, and Mr. Daniel, Dr. Rakesh Kumar, DDH, Garhonda, Mr. Brihamdev, Project Officer, Mashao. Thank you, everyone. Beginning this session, I would like to request Dr. Billu Yadav to present the bouquet and a memento to our worthy chief guest, Dr. Arjun Singh Saini, Head of the Department, Horticulture, Haryana. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to again request Dr. Billu Yadav to present the bouquet and memento to Mr. Uri Robinson, Agriculture Attaché, Mashao, Embassy of Israel, New Delhi. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now I would like to request Dr. Ramesh Kumar to present the bouquet and memento to Dr. Moran Siti, beekeeping expert, Mashao, Israel. Now I would like to request Dr. Ramesh Kumar to present the bouquet and memento to Mr. Daniel, vegetable and irrigation expert, Mashao, Israel. thank you everyone. Now I would like to request all the dignitaries to please take their respective seats on the stage. We are now at a pivotal point of our training program. So to provide a review of the work presented, I would like to request Dr. Bilu Yadav to appraise the diligence of the participants during the 3 days training program.
Thank you, Dr. Sarita. First of all, I heartily welcome today's chief guest, Dr. Arjun Singh Saini, Head of the Department of Horticulture, Haryana. I also welcome Mr. Uri Rubinstein, Agriculture Attaché, Moscow, Embassy of Israel, New Delhi. I also welcome Mr. Moran City, beekeeping expert, Mr. Daniel Haddad, irrigation and fertigation expert, Israel, and Dr. Rakesh, Dr. Ramesh, and Dr. Brahmdev. I also welcome all of you, and I welcome Dr. Jaspal, Dr. Rati, who are here for the beekeeping lecture today. He delivered the lecture to our participant. I also welcome all the participants who have participated in this 3 days programs, and we are concluding 2 training programs which were going from last 3 days. First training was on beekeeping management, which was conducted by the Integrated Beekeeping Development Center in collaboration with the Moscow under MIDG scheme, and another training was conducted by CEV Garonda with the help of Moscow expert. And sir, I would like to apprise the 3 days programs. First day, during the inaugural programs, Dr. Jogender Singh, Mission Director HSSDA, graced the program during the inauguration along with Dr. Sudhir Yadav, Joint Director. And after that, Dr. Ramesh and Dr. Sumit Saini, Assistant Scientist, HAU, has delivered the lecture on beekeeping colonies and organization behavior. And in the last, a field visit was conducted to a progressive beekeeper, Mr. Deepak, in district Kurukshetra, in which our participant get the knowledge on practical, hands-on practical knowledge during the visit. Second day, Mr. Moran Sethi delivered his experience and virtual tour of beekeeping tour in Israel, and give the lecture on challenges and confirming Israeli apiculture and effective pest management strategy. After that, Dr. O.P. Chaudhary, Regional Director, HAU Isar, also shared the knowledge and lecture on pest and disease management to the participant. After that, Dr. Gaurav Kumar, Assistant Scientist, MHU, Karnal, provided the expertise on the critical role of honeybees in providing effective pollination support. And in the last, the trainees visited to IBDC center and get the hands-on practical trainings by our Israeli experts and IBDC experts. And the last day, third day, today, Dr. Neha presented the studies and methodology for the quality control of the honey. And Dr. Jaspal, from Professor and Head Department of Entomology, PAU, Ludhiana, shared the essential practice for the bee management during the dearth periods. And Dr. Mandeep Rathi, Technical Officer, KVK Kathal, covered the principle of bee breeding and effective mating strategy. So, during the 3 days trainings, our participants get the knowledge about the beekeeping, and this training was very knowledgeable, and our experts shared knowledge to the participants, and I hope all the participants get the knowledge and they will share their knowledge to the keeper and the farmers of their respective states. So, thanking for all the participants for attending this program, and I hope you will get the knowledge and will deliver your knowledge to the farmers. So, thank you so much, and this is about the training programs. Thank you so much, sir.
To acknowledge the performance demonstrated by every attendee, now it's time to welcome our special guest, Mr. Uri Rubinson, to share their appreciation for our participants.
Namaste, shalom. First, I want to express my deep thanks and gratitude to Dr. Seni and the Horticultural Department of Haryana and the Government of Haryana for hosting us and having us and facilitate us in order to conduct those important 2 seminars. So thank you, Dr. Seni, for that. In those 3 days that I've been participated in the beekeeping training, I must confess it saved me a lot of time, because I live in a small village in Israel, and I decided that I will create my own beehive as an amateur, 2 colonies max. And from those 3 days I realized that it's too much investment in time, and you have to be in touch. It's not lounge and forget. It's even more than having dog at home. You cannot live in several periods. You have to be near the hives, and you really have to take careful procedures and practices in order to do that. So it's not simple. It's very complicated, and I learn a lot. And I hope that I'm sure that those 3 days training contribute a lot to you. And I wish that most of you are expert in beekeeping. So now it's also a chance and a possibility that you will create between yourself a kind of supporting group that you will exchange knowledge, because one of the things that we are really puzzled is why the beekeepers in India are not adapting the production of quality honey. And this is a big question mark that we all have to be focused and to answer why. Because usually what they produce is a nectar that you have to heat it in order to get to the right concentration, and it will be able to be marketed. But you have an excellent beekeepers here, and I think that our first mission, or your first mission, is to produce a high quality honey. And I think that this is the main purpose of the Center of Excellence for Beekeeping, and it's unique in its performance. And according to my colleague here, the Israeli expert, we don't have even in Israel such an institution. So I'm very proud that we are a part of it. The last part is the experts, the irrigation master trainers. We have 6 people here, very talented one, that we wish that there will be masters in the field of irrigation and fertilizers, or what we call fertigation, which is a fundamental practices for advanced agriculture. So thank you. I hope that we manage to contribute to the knowledge of each one of you, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rory. Success is a team effort built by strong leadership. It's time to recognize the core leadership driving our success. So I would like to please welcome on stage Dr. Arjun Singh Saini, Head of the Department, the leader who translates strategies into action. So I please welcome Dr. Arjun Singh Saini to share his views for our participants.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for inviting me. First of all, a big thanks to Mr. Yuri Rubinstein, my old friend, now he's colleague, more of a colleague, right? And he knows Hindi more than us now, and he speaks Hindi also. And last day I heard that he has sing a song in Hindi also. Mr. Daniel has done that? That's great. Okay.
Born star. Born star.
Born star.
No.
Yeah.
No, you go to the contest.
And thanks to then Mr. Moran City and Mr. Daniel Hara. And whenever we request Mr. Yuri to send good expert, especially in specialized field, they easily agree to our request and they send it on an occasional basis. Now they are sending it on a consistent basis. That's our requirement now. Thanks to you all people, we came from all other states from various parts of the country. I think this is a very good initiative by the Mashab, government of Israel. Earlier, which we have not thought of and they have thought of. What is that? We keep on learning. We have done our lot of degrees, whether it's our professional degrees and thereafter the certain training programs. But what the more important point is that they have started training the master trainers. That's the more important. And though earlier we have not taken it very seriously, but now we understood that it's a very, very important. That master trainer in a specific field and a specific topic is the must and must. And if you have to transfer the knowledge from our center to the farmers, then they can't keep on coming on each and every day. These are you people who can be in continuous in touch with the various farmers at various levels. I think this is the most important part. And they also founded a separate term. This is a village of excellence. Though we have started it 3 years back. Let's have a certain village of excellence where we can connect these villages with our center of excellence. And each village to select certain number of farmers. We have selected 5 number of farmers in each village. And 5 villages are connected with the one center of excellence. I think this is an excellent idea. And why I am telling you this is when you go back, every department has their own objective and an own way of doing the things in various states. But we have done, I think this is a good example. And I think when you go back to your respective states and departments, you must apprise your bosses, your superiors that this is a must-do activity. Then only we can think of the real objective of the center of excellence will be achieved. Whenever the farmers come to your center, they can only see the things, what is happening in your center, but they are not learning it hands-on. And learning hands-on will be done when farmers do it themselves in their own farm. Therefore, it's very important. And my urge is to go back, whenever you go back and learn whatever you are learning and keep on learning, update your knowledge and then transfer it to the farmer. That's the most important part. And I can pinpoint certain the points why I'm saying so is for the last 10-12 years when we have an agreement with Israel, and I keep on asking my center of excellence why the productivity is not increasing. Why it is so? When we go abroad and we seen in the Israel also, the productivity of the capsicum or cucumber or the tomatoes, which are the main prominent crops in our polyhouses, the productivity is even 40 to 50% less as compared to these. Though we have every type of polyhouses, we have a good varieties, we have good officers. What is happening? Then we started learning that there are certain inherent, untouchable the technologies parts which we are not caring of. And then the fertigation and irrigation and fertigation was one of the point of that. Now we are not so much giving concentration on these small things, which actually helps in increasing the productivity of the crop. Now I think the feedback I am getting from the Mr. Daniel that our officers are now learning it very fast. I think once we start implying in our center of excellence, then we start transferring to the farmers field, then only the use of the polyhouse will happen. If we are getting same yield per kg per plant, say for example 3 kg per plant inside the polyhouse and the same are we are getting outside the polyhouse, then there is no fun of doing anything under the polyhouse. Until unless it is a 3 or 4 times higher than the outside. And we are investing so much of money, the polyhouses, so much the labors and new varieties, and the per plant cost of the polyhouse plant. It's the seed comes in rupees, not the kg or grams. That's the way I think the economics doesn't work like that way. So that's why it's important that whenever whatever you learn over here, please keep abreast your knowledge and keep updating your knowledge. And as being master trainer, you keep teaching your other trainers also, the other officers also, and transfer it to the farmers. And this is the most important takeaway when you do such type of trainings over here. And I thank again to our Israeli counterparts. They keep on sending good experts and who teach us at various forms. And thanks to also that we are also one of the leading this center for vegetable is a lead center for vegetable, we are the lead center, and beekeeping also, and fruits I think there is somewhere in south. And our officers also keep on going to the other states also and their centers, they visit their center of excellence and keep learning. Thank once again, and I thanks to our officers who are organizing this training for the last 3 days. And there are also other experts who are at our centers, they are keep on learning. I hope whatever they learn, they will keep on transferring it to the field and to the farmers as well. Nothing much to say. This is the only takeaway I think from this training. I wish good luck to all of you, and I wish whatever the certification you got here, when you transfer it to the knowledge, then it will the real meaning you will get it. Right? Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir, for addressing our participants. Your words of inspirations are really invaluable for all of us. Now moving to the most awaited session of certificate distribution, I would request our worthy chief guest and other dignitaries on dais to distribute the certificate to our participants. I would call one by one. First, I would like to call upon stage Mr. Dalip Singh, SMS from Himachal Pradesh. Mr. Sachin Arya from Uttar Pradesh, entomologist. Mr. Ramesh, DVIO Maharashtra. Mr. Ramesh, DVIO Maharashtra. Ms. PC Lilwa Sangi, PO, Mizoram. Ms. N. Sajitha Parveen, HO, Tamil Nadu. Mr. Mukesh Kumar, BHO, Bihar. Mr. Sandeep Kumar, Pancholi, Agriculture Officer from Rajasthan. Mr. Ashish Ranjan, Assistant Director, Horticulture, Odisha. Mr. Kailash Kaushal, SMS from HP. Mr. Sandeep Kumar, after that Mr. Ashish Ranjan. Okay, sir. Even after receiving, please check your name. It may be possible that misplacement or... Mr. Kailash Kaushal from HP. After that, Dr. Arindam, ADS from West Bengal. Mr. Kailash Kaushal. Okay, then after that, Mr. Arindam from West Bengal. Mr. Chaktik A. Sangma, HDO, Meghalaya. Ms. Archana TO from Maharashtra. Sir, Mr. Chaktik, he is there. After that, Ms. Archana. Mr. Kamal from Gujarat. Mr. Kamal from Gujarat. Mr. Dheeraj P. Lukman from Andhra Pradesh. After that, Mr. Dheeraj P. Lukman from Andhra Pradesh, HO. Dr. Aragya Mani, Assistant Director Horticulture from West Bengal. Dr. Harendra Singh AO from Rajasthan. Dr. Arvind Kumar HO from Tamil Nadu. Dr. Harendra Singh AO from Rajasthan. After that, Dr. Arvind Kumar HO from Tamil Nadu. Dr. Uttam Ganpat Sahane, Scientist Plant Protection from Maharashtra. Mr. Ashok Kumar, Assistant Entomologist from Uttar Pradesh. Mr. Ashok Kumar, Assistant Entomologist from UP. Mr. Rajiv Kumar, BHO from Bihar. Mr. Rajiv Kumar, BHO from Bihar. Mr. Thanshai, HDO from Meghalaya. Mr. Evanger from HDO from Meghalaya.
Who's staying in Meghalaya? What country is he?
Mr. Evander from Meghalaya. Mr. Pradeep from Maharashtra. Mr. Pradeep from Maharashtra. Mr. C.R. Raghavendra, ADS from Karnataka. Mr. C.R. Raghavendra from Karnataka. Mr. Senku HDO from Meghalaya. Mr. Vishwanath, ADH from Karnataka. Mr. G. Kalyan Chakravarti, HO from Andhra Pradesh. Ms. Priyanka, Rural Horticulture Extension Officer, Madhya Pradesh. Mr. G. Kalyan Chakravarti from Andhra Pradesh. Ms. Priyanka from Madhya Pradesh. Amit Kumar B. Expert from Haryana. Dr. Neha Chaudhary Lab Expert IBDC Haryana. Ms. Manisha APO IBDC.
Dr. Srita.
Now I would like to request to call upon stage the other participants in another training which was held at CEV Garonda, Irrigation and Fertigation Management for Master Trainers. I would like to call upon stage Mr. Satyaki Mandal, Assistant Director Horticulture from West Bengal. Dr. Hemant Yadav, Agriculture Officer, Indo-Israel COE for Citrus Quota, Rajasthan. Mr. G. Jalandhar, Horticulture Officer from Telangana. Dr. Lavlesh, SMS Indo-Israel COE for Vegetable, Garonda, Haryana. Dr. Sachin Kamboj, SMS Indo-Israel COE for Semi-Arid Horticulture, Gignau, Haryana. Dr. Pramod Kumar, SMS Indo-Israel COE for Vegetables, Garonda. Last but not the least, Mr. Brahmdev, Project Officer, Mashaw, Embassy of Israel. Ms. Rituja from Maharashtra. I believe everyone has been called upon stage for certificates. Thank you. Thank you everyone. everyone. Thank you to all the dignitaries for handing over the certificates to our participants. I believe everyone has received. If mistakenly anyone has, is there anyone who has left? You have received the certificate, sir? Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Now I would like to call upon stage Dr. Ramesh Kumar from IBDC Ramnagar for the official vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Sarita. Good afternoon to all of you. Respected, distinguished guests and dignitaries present on the dais, my colleagues and respected participants across the 14 states from all over India. It is my distinct honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of IBDC Ramnagar, Department of Horticulture, Haryana, on the occasion of successful completion training on Indo-Israel beekeeping management, bee welfare, in which 25 participants across 14 states. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Arjun Singh Saini, HOD Special Horticulture Department, Haryana, for gracing the occasion and sharing his valuable insights with us. Your thought-provoking address has truly inspired us all. I also extend my thanks to Mr. Yuri Rubinstein, Agriculture Attaché, Massav, Embassy of Israel, New Delhi, who came across from Israel and coordinated this training very successfully. I also extend my thanks to Dr. Jogendra Singh, MD, HSHDA, who had inaugurated this training session day before yesterday. I also extend my thanks to Mr. Moran City, beekeeping experts from Israel, who have delivered his talk on challenges of the apiculture facing in Israel, keeping the bee healthy, happy and strong. I also extend my thanks Mr. Daniel Haddad, vegetable and irrigation experts from Israel, who have delivered his talk to our participants at CEV Gronda. I also thanks to Dr. Billu Yadav, Principal STA Uchani Karnal, who has guided us to organize this training successfully and also provide all the facilities for our participants. I also extend my thanks Mr. Brahmadev, Project Officer, Massav, Embassy of Israel, New Delhi, who have coordinated this training very successfully. I also extend my thanks to staff of the STA Uchani, who have helped to organize this training very successfully. I also extend my thanks to Dr. Kapil Saini, DHO Karnal, who have helped to organize this training. I also extend my staff, that is staff of IBDC Ramnagar, who have worked very hard to organize this training. I also extend my thanks to press correspondents and from the print media and digital media who have covered this training and give mass coverage in all the newspapers. I also extend my sincere thanks to all the resource persons who have delivered their talks, especially Dr. Sumit Sani, Assistant Scientist HAU Core from Goal, Dr. O.P. Chaudhary, Regional Director CCS HAU Hisar, Dr. Gaurav Saini, Assistant Scientist MSU Karnal, Mr. Sanjay Takshak, Entrepreneur from Gurgaon, Dr. Neha Chaudhary, Lab Expert from IBDC Ramnagar, Dr. Jaspal Singh, Professor and Head of the Department and Entomology, PAU Ludhiana, Dr. Mandeep Rati, Technical Officer, KVK Kathal, and I also thanks to all the participants. Without you, this training could not be completed. So thanks to all of you. I also thanks Embassy of Israel for selecting our center to organize this training. And I also thanks to the Government of Haryana and Government of India to organize this training very successfully. Thanks to all.
Thank you, sir. Before leaving home and saying a happy journey to all of you, we would like to make one more memory together. So for that, I would request all the dignitaries on dais to please assemble in the first row for a group photograph. And I request all other attendees who are sitting on their respect chairs, so they should stand on their